this is the point where I usually say, and we're live, but it's been, I don't know. I think it's my internet that's really messing this live stream up, and it's really ruining like the quality of the video stream. I even messaged was it Nico? I messaged the Mighty Island IG, and I was just like, dude, I need some help on my video. I was having camera problems. I had a different camera, and so like it was just showing different quality, and so I told myself, I was like, shit, all right, yeah, gotta get at least the live stream camera with the same.
Who do you have? Docomo, GTA, shout it out. I want to. If you're looking for a sponsor, speed it up.
Yeah, I know. I would love to jump. I would love to jump on that fiber, you know. And I'm currently working through something, so I don't want to really say. I don't really want to say that it's my internet that's messing it up, because it could be the quality of my hardware. So we're gonna test it. We're just running the video and then see what happens from there. It's tricky, man. Gosh, just dealing with like lag, and it looks good. It looks good up front, but when you're spreading it, you know, sending it over the internet, you would lose interest if things aren't sort of lined up right correctly. And it looks good and stuff like that. You know what that's all about.
Yeah, we know that struggle. Trust. Yeah, we're pretty big perfectionists when it comes to just putting anything of our work out.
Yeah.
So don't worry, I completely know that struggle. I mean, you put so much passion, you know, and like work into it, so it's just kind of like, I'm just not gonna like half-ass it.
Yeah, I've literally come to the point where it's like, damn, this is like beyond my control. You know, it's something needs to change. That's
up to
outside
the universe.
Not that far. But anyways, enough about me and the show. How have you been doing? It's been a while since you've been on the show by yourself.
Yes.
Because I was trying to count. I was like,
they weren't here.
Yeah, they weren't here. The cameras weren't here.
There's a fluorescent light above me. Like, holy cow. That's fancy.
Yeah, this was newly installed here. So
you did a very good job.
Thank you. I mean, and I feel like my only roadblock right now is the live stream. Like, getting that right is so important to me right now. I don't even want to like fuck with it, you know?
Oh yeah, totally.
But yeah, well, how have you been doing?
I've been good. I've been busy. How have you been?
Yeah, well, it's
I've just been busy.
I was just trying to track how many times you've been on the show, and you've been on the show 3 times already. This is the 4th time already. You're like one of the top like candidates for getting most Master Random podcast visits.
Dude, are you?
Yeah, you came on.
What the fuck? Why?
You came on with Ben and Matt, right?
Yes, when we talked about our rave festival days.
You came on by yourself, and then with Mighty Island. With the boys.
Yes. Wow. I still don't know why I'm here, boo, but that's pretty awesome. Who am I in the running with?
No, you're so Freddie right now is
going down, Fred.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
He's running on 6 right now.
Dang, I have to beat Fred. Okay.
Fred loves to come on the show and share his thoughts and his intuitions and his what he wants to come to fruition.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, he's good at that.
Yeah.
Though.
Why don't you ever know why I bring you on the show? You know that you're a very entertaining person, right?
I'm
not in a bad way, but it's. I feel like your personality is perfect for a medium like this.
Really?
Yeah.
Thank you. Because honestly, I'm just like, you messaged me. I was like, why? Like, boo, I'm not that interesting. Like. I'm a very normal girl.
Okay, well, see, what people have to realize, what it really comes down to is how much can the conversation evolve as we sit down more and more, because we don't see each other often. Can you agree?
Yeah, I've been like a hermit. Just kidding. Just kidding.
I don't do shit. You know, I rarely like go out to the bars or the clubs anymore, and. I'm really just trying to focus on driving this thing, and it just keeps me indoors. And a lot of the people that I have on the show, it's minimal times that I do see them. It'll be like out somewhere at a restaurant, running into them.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's a good way to keep up a conversation.
Totally, absolutely. And I feel like I talk to you all the time. I feel like I'm having the conversation with you whenever I listen to the podcast, and I'm like, yeah, that's a great point. Or like I learn a little bit every single time.
Me too.
Yeah,
Me too.
and yeah, I was like, yeah, so 4, huh? So this is my 4th.
This is your 4th.
Okay,
so
2 more.
You really got to live up to it.
All right, I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow. And then the next day.
Yeah. I saw the Mighty Island IG posted something about we're going to talk everything mental health. And I was like, are you sure? Are you sure we're going to talk everything mental health?
Well,
Is this something
everything deals with mental health.
Why?
You know?
Why?
Because I think, well, you do know, like, I work for mental health,
yeah,
right? So, I just think there needs to be, my goal, getting deep. Let me take some, drink some beer really fast.
Couple gulps here.
Okay. Game face on. Stretch it out. Okay. Just kidding. All right. So I think with mental health when we look at mental health on Guam or just in general, right? Everybody thinks of it as this like really big, dark cloud of a subject. You know?
Like taboo almost?
Yeah, like there's definitely before we talked about how like there's a stigma against mental illness and mental health, right?
I remember that.
And a lot of times people only see like it's a mental health issue if something, catastrophic happens. But nobody sees that it's everything in life deals with your mental health, whether that be a happy thing or a sad thing. Right.
It's just as important as taking care of your physical health every day.
Yes.
Like going to the gym.
Yes.
So if you're...
You paid attention the last time I was here. I'm so flattered.
Well,
exactly.
Yeah. And that's something that we don't do every day. People can get automatically driven into maybe obsessed with social media.
Yeah.
Or obsessed with porn.
Yeah,
or
okay.
obsessed with looking at pictures of food, right? And that's sort of exercising their brain in that sense. But I feel like when we say exercise your brain, I'm thinking like thinking games and stuff like that.
No, not really.
Like memory and focus and stuff like that.
It's more so like when everyone says like a mental illness, so they either think like depression, someone suicidal, someone's a drug addict, right? And those are parts of it too. But there's this whole nother realm that a lot of people don't realize. It's bigger, but it's also smaller than that, where you can find ways where you can take care of your mental health before it even gets to that point. Like your mental health is how you deal with life, like it's kind of like how you cope with stuff, So something really simple like having that like existential moment where you're sitting amongst your family and having a good time and being like, this is a great moment. You're not realizing like you're doing something good for yourself, for your soul,
Understood.
And so when I talk about mental health, it's always like, how do we prevent mental illness from happening? Or
because like we said on the last podcast, Guam is the highest suicide rate per capita
in the nation. Yeah. And so I always beg, because at work, I look at the statistics a lot, and I look at the numbers, and sometimes it's you forget behind that statistic it's a person and who has a
living, breathing, feeling person.
Exactly. But then you also come back, and it kind of does get to me that behind all these numbers, that was a family. Like that's the part I take away from it, and that's a lot of people that are affected by mental illness or have even taken their own life. Right. And so my reframing of it all is, what are we doing here on this island that's so detrimental to everyone's mental health, And
I know, supposedly we live in paradise.
Exactly. Like, this is the most beautiful place in the world. Like, what is going on? And then, you think about just simple things like the attitudes toward people and, the maybe like the egos, or how we tell people what's healthy and how we cope with when bad stuff happens, or how we think maybe talking about our feelings is a bad thing. Like that's a sign of weakness.
Right. Or going to therapy is frowned upon.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. But see, it's like I like to frame it as like and like there are other ways to deal with it. Rude. Just kidding. Just kidding. We're like, like I always tell my kids, the best thing you could do is you treat people with dignity and respect.
Right.
That's the best thing you can do is you try to see the positives, you see the goodness in everything, you appreciate the small things in life, you don't, compare yourself to other people. Try to love yourself, be content with yourself, and if something, you need to talk about a feeling or you need to talk about something, it's okay to just say, man, I'm sorry, I'm having a bad day. Right. Or, like, hey, how's your day going? You know what I mean? Like, that's something so simple. And
it's so much easier today because you can send a text message or a voice note. Yeah. And that's something that we don't exactly think about every day.
Yeah. Like, it's way more simpler now. So I think if people think about it that way, spread more goodness and spread more respect. And I think that way we can really just...
But you would think that the amount of inspirational quotes, and we talked about this the last time, right? It's the amount of inspirational quotes that we see on social media, it would help someone be like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
But I think what really matters is that interaction.
Yes.
Because you have to feel energy coming. Mm-hmm. I don't know anything about what energy does or what it means, but I felt energy from people coming toward me. Like when I played on stage in a band, mm-hmm. I play even way better and more passionate when the crowd is feeding off my energy, mm-hmm. and I'm feeding off their energy.
Yeah.
And so
vibing.
Yeah, and then you break it down to just an individual sense of mm-hmm. the difference between somebody saying someone can take that same inspirational quote and say it to someone face to face, and that same person can go and read it. Mm-hmm. I think that it will have a greater impact if it was said than if it was read, because when you read it, you're sort of telling yourself.
Mm-hmm. I think both ways. It could just be how the person takes an inspirational quote, or somebody takes a song that's being played. But okay, so like I do a lot of really weird, quirky. I have a lot of weird things, but like
what?
Okay.
You left me hanging.
I know.
You're like weird things.
What are we like?
This over here.
What are we like? 4 minutes in, and I just jumped off the deep end, right? No.
I wasn't trying to go into this right away. Maybe I asked the question too soon. Right?
I mean. Okay, so like
we can go in the deep end. I'm pretty sure we'll come up for air for a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, no, sorry, not like that deep end, but like I like to find ways to kind of I like to think like small picture, big picture, like myself, the world, how I exist in the world, why I think the way I think, why I do this the way I do this. Like I just try to figure out how everything interacts and meshes in between. Like I'm a very in between, find that good gray area, like think how everything relates to each other type of person. Right.
Understand.
So I know.
No.
Really weird. So for instance, I drive a yellow Jeep, and like there's a very, very old very old Jeep, what is it, 2002 Wrangler, and it's zip up windows that get stuck every other day, or the rain comes in and sometimes it gets on my shoes, and
you drive it in high heels and everything.
Hell yeah. And everyone's like, why don't you just get a new car, and I was like, I could totally get a new car, but I don't necessarily have to, right? And it's because I have a car. The point of a car is it takes you from point A to point B. Yeah. This car may not have any aircon. The radio may not work when it's below 70 degrees outside. It has its little quirks. But at the end of the day, I always think but you know what? All those things are conveniences. It doesn't affect my my living. Like, I'm still alive. Like, this car still, like, takes me to point A to point B. It helps me pick
Nia,
up kids
until
when
the
I
brakes
have
go
to.
out.
Oh, yeah. No, those are good. Those are good to go. Shout out to Pacific Tire. But those are good to go, you know. They squeak a little bit, but it gives it character. But I mean, it's kind of like, I don't know.
I understand. I understand what you're saying.
It kind of brings you down to like a level where you can be like, I'll just be sitting there like work clothes and all, like button up, pencil skirt, like high heels, like hair all did, nails all pretty, makeup's like melting, and I'll just be like right next to like a car, and then some guy will roll down his window and like try to like whistle at me or make conversation, you know, and I just giggle because it's like, I can't avoid you because my window's zippered. And if I zip it up, it's gonna look super awkward.
Shut up.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like, it's more like a bzz, 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 fuck, bzz, bzz, right? Like that. It's more like that. But you know, we laugh about it sometimes, but you know, it makes you appreciative of certain things
For
way
sure.
more.
I bought my truck 5 years ago, and I regretted it as soon as I bought it, just because I had a perfectly working car, and I became selfish, and I thought I needed a reward, and I bought this truck, and I was like, oh man, I shouldn't have bought it. I had something. What really mattered? I started to question, like, what really matters to me? Like, the fact that I drive a truck, or that I had a perfectly okay working car that had no problems, really.
Yeah.
And then I ended up with a bill, and I had to pay every month for the last 5 years. I was like, damn, you know what I can use with this money right now? Every month. Like, yeah, almost there. Almost there.
But you see, though, I mean, that's just adulting. I mean, like, if you wanted it, you got it, you love it.
Yeah,
you know,
I love my truck, yeah.
Then shoot, man, like, I'm gonna move a couch.
As much as I regret it, I love it.
I know, exactly. If it makes you happy, like, boo, you do you, boo, boo. But like, I don't know. I think things like that. Like, I kind of just find like little quirks throughout my day to kind of just perk me up or make me happy. I guess.
Yeah.
You know. And as far as that truck, what are you doing in 2 weeks? I need to pick up a couch and it won't fit in my Jeep. So.
I can help you out.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I can help you out. Totally. Just let me know.
Okay.
If you don't know anybody else, just let me know.
Okay.
You can put on the bed extension. I got a couple helpers here. 3.
Yeah.
Got a big guy. And 2 other big guys. But yeah, going back to...
Anyway, we digress.
Yeah. Going back to the whole... exercising your mind.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
What are little ways that people can? It's gonna pick it up. It's gonna pick it up no matter what. No, just chew it. There you go. Yeah. Okay. So just going back to exercising the mind and the fact that it's important but people don't do it often.
Mm-hmm. You want a hot Cheeto?
No, I'm kidding.
Sorry. Oh, man. I know. Sorry.
Are you hungry?
Sorry about that.
I got gummy bears. You want gummy bears?
Ooh, gummy bears.
Yeah?
I just came from work. I'm okay.
Grab the gummy bears over there, dude.
Because they don't crunch.
It's in a big
Okay, so exercising
just
your
bring
mind.
the whole bag. It's that bag that you just grabbed right there. Yep. Okay.
Oh, man. So exercising your mind. What can you do? You can do lots of, I think it's more so, I guess the point I was getting at is more so just having those moments of introspection and reflection, you know, in your everyday life that try to find like good things and positive things in every little thing.
Even in the bad things.
Even in the bad things, like even in the smallest, like minute things. You know, like you're out of shampoo and you're like, fudge, what do I do? Like, I have no more shampoo. Like, I gotta get clean, right? So then you turn the bottle over, shake it up.
Put some water. You put some water in it.
I don't just want like that. And then Put some water in it, and then you shake it up, right? You like freaking wake that sucker. You open it up again, and boom, like more shampoo comes out.
Right.
You're like, this is great. Like 2 seconds ago, I had nothing, thought I was screwed, but now I like thought of something, and it's here. Like, you know, like that's awesome, you know, or finding like that's pretty cool, or.
What do you think prevents people from sort of thinking that way or having that sort of mindset? Not enough people promoting it?
Maybe. I think it's just a mixture of, you know, again, I don't think the way a lot of people think, and a lot of people don't think the way that I think, you know? So I just like to, I think it's try to remind everyone, just stay a little positive, you know, and find little things. And I think you can just promote that by just doing it.
Yeah.
You know, even in moments where, you know, a lot of bad things happen. I mean, fuck, like this life, you know, like a lot of bad shit tends to happen. But I think if people focus so much on negative emotions or negative things, there's no movement forward in anything. You know, the best thing you can do from something bad happening is, you know, learn from it, move on, take it for what it was, appreciate it, and and just kind of keep moving forward. Like, you don't stop, you know. You never stop until you're, that's sad. Until your physical body leaves and then your soul goes somewhere else, right? You just keep going. But you trapped me.
They come in little packages.
Oh, that's cute. Yummy earth. They're organic.
They're organic gummy bears, so they're not your normal.
Jeez, that's so cute.
I'll put it in here.
And a bowl, dang, boo.
You know, my neighbor comes over. My neighbors come over, and you know, sometimes we get together and we party and we drink in here and stuff. Better than going out, right? Sometimes just hang out and play games and whatnot. So they're extremely famous for bringing over chips, and then bringing over a bowl just to put it in, and it's kind of like a party thing, right? Whether it be, and it'll be like chips, it'll be nuts, it'll be anything, pretzels, but mostly organic stuff because our neighbor's a dietitian.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's really cool. I wish I had a neighbor like that.
Wow, these are really good gummy bears.
These are really good gummy bears. I'm smacking. It says no non-GMO, no gluten-free. No nuts.
Yeah, peanut free, soy free, egg free, dairy free.
Free. Being healthy.
Oh.
Dang.
With the unhealthy beer.
That's organic.
Yeah, where did this beer come from? Is it organic?
I don't know. Maybe. Well, beer was made. It was always organic, right? But now I think there's a bunch of processed stuff in it. Anyway, so this is from Alaska. And it's a beer de garde.
Beer de garde.
Yeah, so it's a...
Well, anyways.
Oh, there's another one.
Yeah, third camera.
Oh, 3-camera setup. Fancy.
Fancy.
Yeah, so I just thought I'd bring over a beer. It's like, it's pretty good one. I haven't tried this one. It's the first one I've had. So, it's pretty good.
8.2 alcohol.
Whoop, whoop, fun.
Yeah. Where were we at before the gummy bears came in and took us on a
took
distraction?
Us on a beer journey, gummy beer journey. What were you talking about? I don't know.
Mental health.
Oh,
we're definitely on the mental health.
Yeah.
We went into exercising your mind and what needs to be done and how do we do it.
Yeah. And I think I just want everyone out there in TV land, Guam, TV land, just to be a little more positive, be positive, you know, be nicer to people. Like
I think even as simple as posting a positive thing on your Instagram story or your social media can really help for the self. It's a self benefit of your mental health and mental awareness and where you are. I think instead of saying mental health, it's really self-actualization. You really have to accept everything that you've been given in your life, whether you grew up a certain way, a certain lifestyle. When you become an adult, it's all about acceptance. I think you spend your 20s accepting that shit, you might have a disease, you might have a heart attack, or you
Exactly.
might, you know,
It's
you might have something that you never experienced in your life, and how do you get over it?
Yeah.
And it can be physical, it can be mental, it can be social, it can be economic. And it's all about how you get through it and how you accept it. Because not everybody, maybe a good amount of people would sort of fall into the same trend that they grew up on, but there's people that make it out of it. And it does take a strong mind to really have that passion and have that drive to want to get out of a certain situation that you like. Some people strive in shitty situations.
They do.
And some people just accept that they're in a shitty situation and just continue to live in that sort of shitty situation, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But I think like I always like to see the best in people and try to see the good in people and believe that, you know, humans are amazing and all this stuff. And so I think it's like on Guam, like how many times we get like so pissed off when someone like cuts us off in traffic, you know? Like we immediately get that like sense of road rage, or when like the fights, like people get in fights like at the clubs, and when they go out, it's just kind of like, what does that do for your life? Like it does absolutely nothing, you know? So it's like, why can't we just sometimes take a step back and be like, what are we so angry about?
Well, I think it's pride and ego in the wrong things.
Exactly. And then you channel it into really like,
instead of having pride in a broader scope, in a broader sense of maybe being from here and being Guamanian and being proud to be here, rather than, oh fuck, I'm the baddest guy here.
Yeah.
Look at my shirt. Look at my hat.
Look at my shoes.
Look at my shoes. Don't step on my shoes.
No, I know.
Don't step on my shoes.
Exactly.
Dude, I had someone in the bar get mad at me because I stepped on their shoes.
No way.
Yeah, and they tapped me on my shoulder. He goes, "Hey, bro, you stepped on my shoes twice already. You gonna keep stepping on it?" I said, and I look behind him, and there's a whole space like right behind him. I'm like, dude, what the hell? There's like all kinds of room behind you. You have to stand like right behind me.
I know, right? I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't look at my feet when I walk. Oh gosh, that or like one time. One time, band camp. No, one time, like we were in I can't believe I'm gonna share this story. One time we were in a bar, which I will not name, but I said hello to a friend I haven't seen in like years, like decades, I feel like, right? And so I like went over and like, or like it was just an accident, like how we caught each other's eye, like complete, like he took a photo for like me and my friends, right? And then when he put down the camera, it was like, hey, you know, like one of those moments, right? And you're just like, hey, okay, hug, you know, like shoot par, like have a good night, you know. And then like 30 minutes later, this like girl is like up in my business, like tried to pull my hair, and like they had, like my friend had to like pull me out of like the bar.
You get into fights, Nia Serneo?
No, oh my god, I was so traumatized. Like I was like, oh my god. And when we just got out, like I just started crying. I was like, what was that about? Like, what did I do, you know? And then it's so funny though, because my friends were all like, of all people to get into a bar fight, like it was Nia. And I was like, I don't even know what I did, you know? But I'm just glad I just had the like mentality, like just get out, like don't fight back, like whatever that girl's deal is, it's like she needs to see a therapist, or she needs to talk her feelings, or she just needs to just handle that, right. You know? So I like stuff like that, like it's like why do we do that, you know? Like I think it's a moment we need to search within ourselves, like why do we put ourselves and people in these really like bad negative situations? Like what does that do for your life? Like what does that do for your soul?
Right.
You know?
I don't know what it would do for people. I think maybe sometimes getting into confrontation like drives people, or you know, gets excited.
Yeah.
Gets people like ramped up, like, let's go.
Then fight over a football. football game, you know? Like,
I'm gonna fuck some bitch up today.
yeah, like I'm gonna hair did, nails done. I'm gonna go to a club and fuck somebody up. Like, who thinks like that? Like, right? Like,
But believe it or not, there are people who think like that, right?
well, I pray for them, but I will pray for them. But no, that's that's what I mean. Like, just like spreading that like kind of attitude. It's
Yeah,
just,
there's just way too much self pride and self ego that a lot of
Yeah.
people probably can't swallow.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of walking away from someone that's trying to gassy you or say something,
yeah.
I'm be like, "What, bro?"
Yeah.
Come
Fuck
on.
are you?
Yeah, I was like, dude. You know this guy's not gonna matter tomorrow, right? Like none of this is gonna matter tomorrow.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. And just kind of like that was just a waste of time.
I think for most people too, you start to realize your mortality,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
You start to realize like, oh fuck, I can die at any time. There's people my age dying. Like it's normal for people my age to probably die.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a rare occurrence. I mean, not a rare occurrence, but it's like a freak accident or maybe
Well, yeah.
maybe something terminal, but you start realizing like, wow, these are the times, right?
These are the times. You realize, like, but you're absolutely right. You know, like, life is, like, short. Like, you got one shot at this thing. Don't fuck it up.
Right.
You know, like, my mom was like, just don't be an asshole. Don't fuck it up. You know,
Right.
like, you got one chance of living, #the best life. Living your best life. You're right?
Hashtag living my best
Living my
hair
ace
flipping.
life, you know? Boo, take my Instagram photo. Me in a sunset.
Yeah,
you know?
you get, the lighting is perfect right
I
now.
know, fluorescent, right? How's my eyelash extensions look okay?
No, it's good. It's good. It's good.
But I mean, like, no, like, life is short. Like, I realized, like, I just turned 29
Really?
on April 1st. I just had a birthday.
Really? Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Happy birthday. What's
Thank
today?
you.
So you're an April Fool's baby.
I am.
Yeah. Has that been sort of affected your life over the many years of your life?
Yes.
Like people really fucking with you?
Yeah, you hear like you hear the oh, so you're a fool then, you know? Or I was like, yeah, man, I was like totally my mom's like best prank on my dad. Like,
My dad didn't even know my mom was pregnant the whole time.
I know. She was like, gotcha. You know? I'm just gaining weight, you know?
You thought I was just getting fat, huh?
Yeah. And it was a part of the story. Like, I think my mom was like, Dad, like, it's it. And he was like, yeah. April Fool's, babe. Good night. You know, she's like, no, you idiot. Like, get in the car. Like, this is the moment. So I kind of just, like, set the stage for a lot of fun birthdays.
Yeah.
But also a lot of...
Like what? How can you give like an example of how maybe being an April Fool's baby is a fun thing? Because I can imagine being a New Year's baby is extremely fun.
You get presents. Did you hear that? If you're a freaking New Year's baby, you get presents. If there's a way that like
You get presents for a whole year.
yeah, just for being like born, I'm gonna send some. That's why you send out some good vibes, so the universe will bless me with like a New Year's
You
Eve
gotta
baby.
time it. You gotta be. You gotta like conceive in February, right?
At precisely 9:52
On February 17th, we are going to do it.
at 9:52. Synchronize our watches.
You know, you need to come like at 9:52.
Get it going now.
Yeah.
Hold it.
Yeah, hold it.
Wow, this went down a whole. What's going on?
Looking at the clock the whole time. We're almost there. Keep it going. Keep it going. Are you even enjoying this shit? No, we're getting pregnant.
I'm having this New Year's baby.
Our baby is getting gifts tonight.
I'm not paying for his college.
That shit better come with a fucking scholarship.
Hashtag blessed, right? But yeah.
Breathe. And I digress.
But yeah, so like being an April Fool's baby has its up and its downs. You know, there's one year where my friends pretended like they forgot my birthday, and I was like in middle school, right? So like
I think that's the best prank right there. Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, what's going on? Like no one said anything, and I was like, oh, they forgot. It's okay. You know, go home. And I was like, it's okay, Mom. Like, they just forgot. You know, and they didn't forget. They just planned, like, a birthday party, like, the next weekend. Yeah. You know, so I was just like, oh, you guys. I knew that. And then in the corner, I'm like, fuck these bitches. I wrote in my slam book. I hated all of you.
The slam book. The coveted slam book has made its return to the podcast.
No, yeah, but exactly, right? Yeah. But so things like that, and then sometimes it'll fall because it's in April. Mm-hmm. It'll fall on like Easter or Good Friday,
like this last.
Yeah, and I didn't want like a party on Easter because you know, like it's already given. It's like family time, and you know, I wasn't about to steal Jesus's like thunder. You know, like this is the day you came back, so you can have it, I guess.
No, Jesus, you have it next year.
Like, I'll save it. It's fine.
You have it when Easter. My birthday is not on Easter Sunday.
I know, right?
This is my time.
This is my day. I want you to rise a different day. Thank you.
No one told you to rise today. What are you doing?
Go back to bed.
We're gonna get smited right now. I'm just waiting.
I know, like thunder and lightning are gonna come down.
The bolts to come down and through the room.
Oh man, I'm super sorry. I'm gonna say my Hail Marys later. I'm so sorry. Anyway,
I got my confirmation. I promise.
I know. I taught CCD.
Did you? How long did you teach CCD for?
Like a year.
Did you go to public school at all when you were younger?
I did, yes.
Okay. So you experienced, you know what CCD is like, Saturday morning school and stuff like that.
Yeah. My mom was a public school teacher, so
okay.
She was kind of like, looked like hypocrisy if I sent you to private school, wouldn't it? And I was like, yeah. So we went to public school until I hit high school, and then I went to academy.
Where did you go for middle school?
Ocean View.
So that's
Agate.
Agate, right? Yeah.
I'm from Agate. What up? And it's so funny because no one ever believes me that I'm from Agate.
You look like you're from Dededo, girl.
See that is racist. Just because I'm Filipino.
Dededo or Jigo? I'll give you upper Tuman or Tumaning.
Thank you.
Like a shaky hand.
Maybe.
She might be from upper Tuman.
Maybe,
I don't know.
right? You want to know this way? I am so from Agate. I don't know anything past the mall.
Really?
Yeah. I'm not even joking. Like I don't. Like it wasn't until like I moved back 4 years ago where I was like really venturing off, and even just like last year we had a meeting at like a community center in Jigo, and I was like, I was texting people, and I'm like, where the hell is this place? And I was following, and I was like, ooh, what's that? That's a bakery. There's a Jamaican grill up here. You know, I was like, what is that? Like all these like things.
Dededo has everything. Dude, can you grab the aircon remote, man?
Sorry, are you hot?
I think the light.
Probably the Cheetos.
Or maybe the beer. Or maybe it's just the body heat.
It's a light.
No, the light is actually an LED light, so it's not supposed to.
Light in the sky.
It's not supposed to emit any.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's not actually fluorescent bulbs. It's LED bulbs. That's why they were so goddamn.
That's why they're. I'm talking. It's okay.
Yeah.
I know the LED light struggle. It might be. But yeah, so what were we talking about? Oh, so yeah, I'm from Agate.
Yeah, you look like from Dededo. And how did we get there? Where did we go?
I went to Ocean View Middle School.
Right. CCD. There you go.
Yeah.
How long did you teach CCD for?
I
went to CCD over at Bishop, and because I went to CL Titano. That's Sinahanya's elementary school, home of the Deerlings. What's up? Right.
Can I get a backdrop for March Lights of Blood, home of the stars? down.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Home of the Stars?
Home of the Stars.
Damn.
I know. Seriously. Stars.
They could have chosen. I mean, I thought
Like-
Deerlings were bad, but
Deerling Stars. Stars is pretty badass.
I don't know.
Yeah, me.
I mean, what does your mascot look like?
Like, it's a fucking star. Like, can you draw your mascot? I can in like 2 seconds.
You're right.
Like,
You're right.
I'm a ball of
It'll-
freaking light and magic.
It'll take me a couple of time, a couple minutes to think out. Not even draw it, just think out what a deer would look like. Like the
Exactly.
nose. Does it have horns? It's a deerling. But I think the thing about it, I think the logo. Correct me if I'm wrong. Look it up if we can. I think the logo of Ciel Taitsano Deer, Home of the Deerlings, is as an adult deer.
Yeah, because it's a Toru.
It's a Toro, right? It has horns.
Yeah.
We are
And it's
the
not a deerling.
Toros. Oh, it's not a deerling?
It's not a deerling.
So,
4 points.
In 4 points?
No,
in 4 points?
Oh yeah, it's a 4 point. It's a 4 point. It's a 4 point deer.
Well, thank you, Google.
We're looking it up right now.
I know. It's a deer.
Oh, so yeah.
Oh, I got one.
That's the new feature of the podcast.
Oh, that they have
is
Google stuff for
that
you?
we can look up stuff and then we turn on the TV and we
I've
can.
noticed that. I have seen that. That people, you guys do this, but now it makes sense when people look off camera. Yeah. Okay. Well then, while they're Googling deerlings to figure out what it is, Google a star. They don't have to. See that? We're just gonna end this conversation because I win, boo. Okay, I win. But yeah, no, I'm pretty proud to be from Agate.
Yeah. Why teach CCD though?
Oh, I actually taught CCD on base.
Okay.
At Naval Hospital.
Okay.
And I think they asked me just because I was like one of the only kids with base access.
Your family was in the military?
My dad, yeah.
Okay.
So my dad was in the military, so I think that's why they taught me, and it was an interesting experience. I taught the first communion class. They're super cute, but I don't think I succeeded at teaching CCD.
Why is that?
Okay, so there's because I was teaching the 10 Commandments, and I only had like 4 or 5 kids, and turns out like there was some kind of like weird dispute like in the classroom, right? And I was like, hey, settle down, right? And then all of a sudden, like these 2 kids started like arguing, and then this girl just like pushes this boy like up against the wall, and I'm like, oh, she's gonna punch him, oh my god, I'm gonna get fired, right? So I'm like trying to like, honey, come back, and then she just clocks him, like just smack down in the face. He falls. I'm like, I'm gonna die. Like, was his dad a commander? Like, oh my god. And then he falls to the ground and is like, ow, starts crying, and then she kisses him. And I'm like, oh, what do I do? So she like kisses him, and then he like kisses her back. I'm like, oh, I can't have this. I can't have this going on right now. You guys in the 3rd grade. So then I like separate them, and then they run out of the classroom, and then she just bolts after him, and he like freaks out and like runs away, and then he's like, get away from me, and she's like, I love you, like blah blah blah, like I want to marry you, like all this stuff. So he runs up a tree, and he likes this story too.
Yeah.
And then, so the boy runs up a tree, like she's running after him, and the rest of the class is like running after her, and then they're shouting like, Miss Nia, remember what Miss Nia said? You guys are committing adultery. Oh my God, what's that? And I was like, oh, I don't think I taught that really well. So then I'm just like, oh my God, and then like the nun, sister so-and-so comes out and is like, Miss Nia, what is going on? And I'm just like, exercise. I'm like, why is he in a tree? And I was like, exercise, we'll get him down. It'll be fine. And then, they're screaming like, remember, thou shalt not commit adultery. Get back here. I'm like, oh my God, stop shouting that. I never taught CCD again.
That was the first and last year.
That first and last year that I taught CCD. Yeah. What else? So that's it. Yeah, and that is my history with the church. But agate though, it's like, home of the mango festival, gentlemen. You should also check it out. Agate Mango Festival happening soon. I've also a really sick obsession with mangoes. Like, I just love mangoes.
Dude, it's a killer mango season right now.
Isn't it?
All
oh my
the trees
god.
are full of mangoes.
Yes, I show people pictures of my mom's mango trees like they're my children. Like, look at this flower. Look, it's flowering.
Dude, there's a tree at my work.
Yeah.
It's got to be 20 feet tall. And this thing has hundreds of mangoes on it. Hundreds. Literally hundreds. This is it. I was just like, I was even maybe like 200 feet away. I was like, is that mango? Like that much mango? And I guess it's come late because I was told because it's been raining, so the flowers are being washed off, and it affects the growth of the mangoes. So that's why it's a little late this year. I mean, it's already April.
Yeah, climate change.
You think it's climate change?
Give me climate change.
Were you just throwing that out arbitrarily?
Yeah, climate change. This weather, huh? Like, that's weird.
It is getting hot though.
Yes.
It's sort of.
Because the LEDs.
You think is it hot? Are you hot right now?
Just, I'm fine.
Okay. I can lower down the aircon even more.
No, it's cool.
It's good. The internet's not working.
Yeah. Or access restricted.
Never mind. It's okay.
Access restricted. What are you guys
Dude,
looking over there? Are you still looking for the deer? I'll hotspot you, bro. Like, it's fine.
I think we need a hotspot.
We settled it.
Yeah,
it's okay. Honestly, I don't like being in front of cameras.
Why? Is that why you're the producer for Mighty Island instead of
the star?
The star? You have every opportunity to be a star.
No. No, absolutely not. I don't know. I don't particularly like attention. Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, you don't really notice these cameras that they're here.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
I mean, it's totally cool. I don't know. I just don't like being like on camera. I also don't know what, like, you know, how some girls are like, really good at like finding their angles. Like, girls just be killing it. Like, selfie all day, every day.
I can't stand on this side, and you need to stand on this. I need to stand on that side.
Yeah, like this is my good side.
Right.
Like I know this is my good side, because then this side just gets a little weird. Like,
why is that? How do you know?
I think this is where my mom's chromosome met my dad's chromosome, and they just didn't get along. I don't know, but
and it just happened to happen at the face.
Exactly.
It could have happened anywhere else, but it just happened
right here. Just kidding.
But how does that work? How does
chromosomes?
that work? Is that? I mean, no, not chromosomes. Like girls finding their angle. I mean, that honestly, I don't even think I have a good side.
I think you have so many great sides.
I think my best side is forward side.
All of you. I think, because, like, you know, we work with a lot of models. We do a lot of model shoots and stuff, right?
Really? I didn't know you guys delve into that area.
Well, I mean, in our videos, you know, oftentimes we do work with, you know, models or actors or people who are hired, you know?
I guess when you say models, I'm thinking, like, your typical Instagram model, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I have this great photo. I'll show you later.
Okay.
My friends turned it into a meme, and it's
Just show me now. Show me now.
I think it's all
because we're gonna forget.
I think, yeah. So my friends turned it. They turned into like a meme about how there are two girls that exist in this world. And so we were working on a shoot with a model named Jet, who's fabulous. She's the most beautiful soul and like the most awesomest spirit. And so we were shooting her like at SETI. She's like in a bathing suit, like being all like, you know, like pretty and beautiful and like kind of like very like exotic and
bringing sexy back. Yeah,
super. Girl can work it, you know. And so she's gorgeous, and so like I was just there, like Nico was like, She needs to be a little wet. And I was like, all right, I'll spritz her. So I'm just like standing there, just kind of like, like the whole time. And then they snapped a photo. So now everyone's like, there are two types of girls: the ones that model and the ones that spritz. So and I'm like there in like a backwards baseball cap, just like, fuck, don't fall off this tree. Like just like glisten, glisten, glisten.
Here. If you
So I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, you can see that. Look how clear that is. It's the lighting.
I
It's
know,
the lighting.
It's lighting.
Who
She's
blamed the
so
lighting?
beautiful.
Yeah.
No, she's the best. But it's just everyone just cracks up like, God, that's yeah. You ever see those memes? Like there are two types of girls where there's always one being like sexy or pretty. I'm always the one on the other side. Like,
There's a meme that's been going around. It's that if you can't love me at my, and then it shows a picture of a bad version, and then you can't love me at my best, and then it shows like a really good version of the picture. I think that's the first thing that came to mind for some reason. I don't know why.
no, I've seen those, and some people get really freaking creative with them. Yeah, like some people get really.
The internet is amazing.
Yeah.
The internet
so
never
clever.
fails to let me down.
Right.
Ever.
Except when your wire,
Yeah.
when your connection sucks,
Is
right?
it the connection that's all fucked up right now? Just at least go to Google, see if Google pulls it. Oh, okay. Oh, it's just the porno website that you guys are trying to find CO tied to the home of the deerlings on.
Oh, you guys, that's the wrong URL for that site. Just kidding. Just
That
kidding.
literally has a parent and a kid. Just
Wow.
put deerling. Just put a deerling.
You know, I'll do it. It's okay. I'm just
And just
gonna
go
say
to
it's a baby
images.
deer.
Just go to images. There it is. There it is. The cartoon.
Look, it's so
Yeah.
cute.
Oh,
Look, are we gonna? Are you awning something?
he was awning the TV. It's
I
amazing.
See, and that phrase. I'm from Megan. I told you. You didn't believe me. I can't seem to just ever get that phrase right. In my 29 years of life, I would still say, can you on the light, off the light? Can you open the light? Like, it's fine. I'm going to keep it.
I got it.
I made it this far. No one killed me yet.
Yeah,
Grammar police
There
hasn't
it is.
arrested me.
There it is. Full screen that baby.
It's
There
a
is
deerling.
our deerlings.
It either looks like Harry Potter's like Patronus charm or like the thing in Princess Mononoke, right?
I don't know what Princess Mononoke is.
It's an anime.
Oh, okay, I never watched anime in my life.
Why?
I know it's a very popular thing.
Yeah. I mean, I don't watch a lot
even
of
amongst
it.
like kids of our generation.
Yeah.
People of our generation really grew up off of that sort of anime, right? Put CL Titano in the search.
Did you watch Dragon Ball Z?
No, I didn't.
Who the heck are you? Are you
I
sure?
didn't.
You
No,
really
I
didn't watch
didn't.
Dragon
No.
Ball Z?
I've
Moon?
only watched Dragon Ball Z when I met my friends in high school.
Really?
Like, so not
You've
even
never
consistently,
seen-
just seen an episode, like few episodes, or
Mm.
but I was never dedicated to like the story and what's going on. I only knew what was going on through all my friends and stuff.
Pokemon? Yu-Gi-Oh? Anything? Cartoons?
No,
Whoa.
nothing. When I was in, just see if we can find a logo. Click on one of those pictures there.
I can't take this Google
I'm
search.
There,
Your day.
There it is. See, that
Oh.
is not a deerling. That is a Toro. They
Okay.
should just be home of the deers,
Home of the Benadu.
of the Benadus.
I know, right? Oh, Benadu.
Okay, you can bring it down.
Bring it down. Bring it down.
Anyways,
Anyway, sorry, we digress.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, what were we talking about before we found the picture? This beer.
My Lanta.
It's the beer. My whole
Damn it.
mental's like getting thrown off right now.
Sorry, this is from Alaska, so
Fuck, they put in this Alaskan
I don't know
beer.
what they did. Dude, Alaska, nicest people on the planet.
What were you guys doing out there?
Well, Mighty Island.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a gig out there to film a video for a company, which I don't think I can name. So a video for a company. So they flew us out there to do this film, and they sponsored, and I did a rod musher.
Yeah.
So
The race.
dog, the last great race.
Right.
So they flew us out there to film a little bit of that, to create like a TVC.
And they flew you guys out there and everything, all expenses paid.
Yeah,
no
right?
way.
Isn't that ridiculous?
That's awesome.
Yeah, isn't that it's just a little bit ridiculous about how like we were all kind of like, why did you fly like Guam people
Right.
to the coldest place on the planet to film dog like sled racing? So, but no, it was like a super cool experience. You know, it was freezing, but man, nicest freaking people I've ever met in my life.
Yeah.
Like, I have to say,
Are
and
they
we're
like,
from Guam.
Are
but
they
they're,
like small
so
town folk
nice.
in the largest state in the United States?
Yeah, kind of. Like everyone's like super down to earth, just really nice and like really really positive. And you know, like a couple times, like it's so cool. I couldn't feel my phone, so I drop it. We would forget gloves. We'd forget stuff, and people would be like, "Excuse me, you dropped your phone." "Oh, excuse me, here's your glove. Is this your glove?" You know what I mean? And I'm just like,
You couldn't feel your hands, so you dropped your phone?
yeah. That is how cold it is. You don't understand. I wore like 6 pairs of pants.
I literally caught that after you said. I was like, wait.
You don't. It was like -22.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
That's like 6 pairs of pants, 4 pairs of socks.
Really? 6 pairs of pants?
Yeah.
That's no joke?
That's no joke. 6 layers.
Like sweatpants?
Things.
Really?
Yeah. Like long johns, leggings. I put jeans underneath my snow pants. Like I just kept like my whole suitcase every day was like on me. I couldn't do it. And I've been cold before, you know. Like I went to school in Seattle. Just
My whole suitcase.
like, yeah, I'm not even joking. I ran out of clothes the second day. Like it was just like this is ridiculous. It was really cold.
Yeah.
And yeah, and it's so funny because all the things you think of, like Alaska, it's like, yeah, you're on point, like snow, mountains, wilderness, you know, and just really nice people. So they were so nice. I think it's because weed is legal there.
Is it?
Yeah. And so I think that's why everyone's so nice.
Everyone's just
Genuinely
everyone's
nice.
just high.
Exactly. Just so happy, you know. There's like this amazing, beautiful mountains, we have great outdoors.
Yeah.
Weed's legal. Like, there's just happy people.
Do you think making weed legal here on Guam would sort of change things for maybe going back to the whole mental health thing here on Guam?
Back into dark, deep topics. I think it would, to be quite honest. Yeah. I think if it was used, it would generate like a whole ton of revenue, that's for sure. But I know we were kind of on par with it, and every time we were like at a weird committee, and every time they brought it up, they'd be like, "What do you guys think?" I'm like, "Yeah, do it. Like, I'm for it. Let's just go for it." You know, and I think it's kind of one of those things where maybe we need to look more into, you know, because like people have proven that certain things like cannabis oil can help, you know, heal certain things, you know, or certain ailments. And I feel like if we just gave it to people, regulate it, I mean, we give people alcohol, you know, and people learn how to like kind of regulate it.
And people overdo alcohol all
the time. Yeah, exactly. Then I don't know. I think it might actually help people mellow out. I do know like they give them to cancer patients, and I think medicinally there could be a lot of good to come out of it. And I think recreational, like, have you ever seen a really stoned person get into a fight? No, you've seen a really drunk person get into a fight, right? I think it just causes people like mellow out.
It's the really stoned person who's watching the fight.
Exactly. He's the one that's like thinking like, what does this do for their life, man? Why are they doing this? I mean, like, it's not, I don't know if I'd engage in it like every single day, but I don't think it's a big deal if we were to pass it. I think, why not? Like, go for it. I don't know. I'm for it.
What's the worst that can happen, right?
Yeah. I'm like, well, I think if we look at like other places like maybe like Portland or like Seattle, and how like those places it's like legal now and it's just become a thing. Yeah. You know, like you can go to a dispensary that's like dolled up like a normal bakery, you know, where it's like you can just have the edibles look like gourmet little like cookies,
like truffles in a
it's like gluten-free snickerdoodles. That sounds great, right? And it's like not a big thing. Or like in Alaska, like the place looked like it was DFS.
Yeah.
You know, so and I think there's a big stigma or this weird understanding of like people who like smoke weed or engage in marijuana are a bunch of like Rastafarian like.
Well, it all started with trying to, because the Mexicans smoked it back in the day, right? They're the ones that sort of brought it to America, and that's why it was frowned upon. And then the paper industry was being, they were being, how do you? Sorry, I didn't even know this. They were being, what's the word I'm looking for right now? God, why?
I don't really know much of my
threatened.
Culture. Okay.
Yeah, they were being threatened by the hemp industry, which is one of the reasons why they made, that dude lobbied Congress to make weed illegal. And then they had Reefer Madness. You ever watch Reefer Madness?
No.
You never watch Reefer Madness? It is the worst.
You never watched Dragon Ball? I've never watched Reefer Madness. Fair is fair.
Touche. Touche fucking shade.
Yes. But no, I've never. But
Yeah,
anyway,
so
sorry.
it's just, and I think over like a couple generations, it was already put into our brains that, oh, it's bad. Weed is bad. Weed is bad. Weed is bad. Weed is
Yeah.
bad.
Or like,
Don't smoke weed.
yeah,
Don't
there's
do
an
this.
association with it. Yeah.
Right.
So
And I think we're getting over it. Guam
so.
maybe is just a little bit behind, more behind on it, on the whole accepting that this is culture now.
yeah.
Right, we're very traditionalist if
Yeah.
you really think about the landscape of how everyone lives here. Right?
Yeah.
Everything's authentic, everything's traditional.
Yeah.
And sort of our generation that grew up with the rise of technology and sort of taking it in, and we went out and see what and we experienced what we experienced, brought it back, and then I think we're taking we should be able to take the most advantage of what technology has to provide for us to create that new culture. Right?
I think so. That's a very responsible thing,
Yeah.
Mr. Ad.
It is up to our generation.
It is. And, you know, I think that's another thing is people do underestimate the millennial generation. Like, there are a lot of things
I'm slowly starting to accept that I'm part of that millennial generation.
But the tail end. We're the tail end.
Right,
I always like, stop. Yes, I'm a millennial, but you know what I mean? Like I always have to put like a but into it.
Yeah, but I do believe maybe we are in the gray area between generation whatever it came before millennials.
It was like, well, why? Generation Y?
Generation Y.
Generation X? Google.
The generation categories between Generation X, Generation Me, and Millennials.
Generation X, Generation Me. Sound like a good rap. And these millennials.
I actually went over this with one of my friends on the podcast about it's called generational myth. Look up generational myth real quick.
What is that? Oh.
Just turn on the TV real quick.
Oh. On the TV.
On it, dude.
On it, bro. On it.
So, yeah, a generational myth. This is what I've learned from my friend. Obviously, it didn't stick to my brain because I don't talk about it much.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, try another website there. Just go back. See if there's a wiki. Go up because you spelled it wrong, man.
Generation. No.
Show results for generational myth.
That's okay. You guys are doing fantastic. I just have to say, kudos. You guys work so hard. You have to listen to Boo all day. Like, I appreciate you.
Only for a couple hours. Only for a couple of hours. Damn, there's no wiki. Just put wiki.
Why did? Oh.
There you go. Generational X. Fuck. Generation X. Oh my god. Okay, so Generation X are the baby boomers, right? Okay, so
it's like our
millennials,
parents.
right? So is the demographic cohort following the baby boomers and preceding the millennials? Okay, so we cleared that up.
Yes.
So there are no precise dates for when Generation X starts or ends, but it usually born between 56 and 64. What? So that means my parents are considered millennials.
56 and 64. How old are your parents? Mine
were born in
Old.
67. They're 51.
Dang, son. Mine are baby boomers for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Had that,
Go down. Keep going down. Oh, there.
I know. My parents had seen
1965. Okay, there. Okay, so baby boomers is 1956. Go up a little bit.
Shout out to you, mommy,
61.
for those senior citizen discounts.
Generation X is 61 to 81. I guess everybody sort of makes up their own, because even
well, I mean, it's Wikipedia. Technically, they're not the most accurate thing on the planet.
I guess.
But, if it makes you happy to not be a millennial, I won't call you a millennial. It's totally fine. I think you're a Z. Is that what it is? I think you're
I don't mind being a millennial. I just don't want to be categorized with
that millennial.
Yeah, with that millennial, right?
Yeah, I get you. I get you.
Because we grew up differently.
Totally.
Matt and Brian are what, 21? They're 21 this year.
21's good age.
Yeah,
good age.
And so we grew up completely different from them.
Yeah.
Completely.
They're having alcohol for the first time. We've been having Guys very first time. We had it legally at 18, right?
Yeah.
But no, I totally get what you're saying about how it's a different.
But we're still categorized into that group of people. But I guess it makes sense because we're sort of part of that technological age.
Totally. Yeah. I think we got our first computer and I remember I was able to work it better than my parents were, as a kid. But now.
How old were you when you got your first computer?
Maybe 6.
Okay. So my sister won a computer for an essay contest when she was in 7th grade.
Good writer.
I'm 4 years younger than her, so I was 3rd grade.
3rd grade.
So 3rd grade is about
9?
7, 8?
10?
9 or 10, right. It's 9 or 10. Maybe 8. 8 or 9.
I think it's 7 or 8. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, and when we got it, it just had Snake.
Oh, I love Snake.
Yeah, it was just one of those.
Minesweeper was my shit, but there's a way to cheat for that. Remember, you adjust the
numbers?
Yeah,
no, you can. All you got to do is right click around the mine.
Yeah, and then it'll show all the other ones.
Right. And it'll see where the potential mines.
Yeah, I remember my uncle taught me that, and then I remember I would always play against Nico, and then when he would get up on there and he would just completely lose, and then I'd be like, oh. And I just win, and he'd be like, "How the hell did you do that?" And I was like, "Tricks." I was like, "Cause you're stupid." Just kidding. No, I didn't say that.
But I think for Guam in the future, I think that it's up to us, and the leaders today and the leaders in the future, on how we implement technology into our culture now. Right? You have people like you guys and possibly myself that utilizes and Stroll Guam, they utilize
totally.
This show is sponsored by Stroll Guam, but
I don't have a promo code yet.
Yeah. So I mean, we're utilizing technology
in different ways
to the advancements of technology in different ways to sort of showcase the island's culture, quote unquote culture, and help progress us forward, right?
Yes.
Because podcasting is something new to to at least what's used to it. Radio has dominated everything here on Guam, and then now we're podcasting, and then television dominated everything here on Guam. Now you got independent films that you can just upload onto the internet. Everything, the internet has made us available, made it available for us to do literally whatever the fuck we want.
Yes. So
That is crazy.
I know it is. So it's, with great responsibility or great power, right, comes with great responsibility. Shit. What's in this beer? No, but I think you make a really good point though, and I think we're at this really gray area where sleepy Koda. Okay.
I don't know what that was.
He's sleepy. Or he agrees with me. Where we remember what it's like before computers, and we know what it's like to grow up with computers. And I think just like that fact gives us a very interesting understanding of kind of how we can use technology in our lives, but yet also how we appreciate things that aren't technologically associated. I don't know how else to say that. It's kind of...
What do you mean? Exactly. Just try and expand if you can.
Like I still love the way a library book smells, or like I would much prefer reading a book than I would reading it off a Kindle, or I still would prefer to like go out, and play outside rather than like the video game, unless it's Tekken, then you're going down. But like, I think we're like, for instance, like I have a 3. Oh my God, how old is she? She's 4. She's 3. A 3-year-old goddaughter who will take an iPad. She knows, like she remembers my passcode, and I'm like, you're 3. Like, how did you know that? She knows what the YouTube icon looks like. She knows how to search her shows. I'm like, you're 3. Like, how is this happening?
Well, they're definitely smarter at a younger age than we were.
Yeah. Or, like, they're learning different skills, Or do you ever watch those YouTube, like, kids react videos?
Yeah,
like, kids reacting to stuff?
To, like, old songs or old movies.
Or, like, cassette tapes. What the heck is this, So it's kind of like that moment. I mean, like, how, like, millennials will never know what it's like to, for dial-up, the shh. Yeah. Shh. Right? Or like what it's like.
See if you guys can pull up. See if you can YouTube some dial-up noises.
Like they're never gonna know what that feels like. Or like.
Do you guys? Were you guys familiar with the dial-up?
Yeah, the dial-up.
Yes,
Are you sure?
Yeah, the port, right?
Yeah. Well, everything's recorded, but it was a telephone cord.
Yeah.
Right. Or like.
Just play it for us.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Satisfaction.
Yeah.
Right. Or like, remember like unplugging the cord and then plugging the internet wire in, like taking the phone out and then plugging the internet in?
Yeah.
Because it pissed off my grandma so much.
How did they make it the same sound every single time?
Right?
And it's like we're trying to like get transmission, like
Right?
Achieving transmission.
All right. Coming. Houston. We have a problem. Or do you ever... See, right? Oh, I should make that a ringtone.
Oh,
That's
God.
so good. So good.
What
that's
is
a
what is
Nintendo sound.
what is it? Okay. I think this video is all of
like
the,
all the 90s like sounds. Dude, I love
Turn
this
it down
sound.
a little bit. Damn, that THX. Yeah, that's the
I
THX.
loved that sound. That was just like, like orgasmic
If I'm not mistaken, this video is like nine minutes long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, how come you're not showing it to us?
I know. I
wanna
know
see this. What's going on here?
Ooh, what is that? I had to skip it, and I ruled that agate
You had to
playground.
skip it?
Yeah, totally.
Hanna-Barbera.
Oh, AOL. We didn't have that because we were Guam.
We were Guam, yeah.
So we didn't have that. So
I did experience it though when I went to
Culturally
Hawaii.
incompetent slideshow. Just kidding. You know what we did have? Talada 2000
We did have
IT&D.
Talladega 2000.
Yeah. Nickelodeon. See?
Damn. Dude, this is honestly, guys, this is all our shit right here. Everything, everything, dude.
Home videos. I had so many of those.
We're in the 90s too, bro.
No, you guys are
90s.
90s.
You guys are
babies.
born in the
Yeah.
90s.
It doesn't count.
Oh, yeah.
Like, do you remember Duke Nukem? See?
Dun, 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 dun. That was the first thing I learned to play on the piano.
You're an idiot.
Ren and Stimpy was such an inappropriate show. I don't know why we were allowed to watch it.
Yeah. This is an amazing video right about now.
It was. Were you ever a Nick at Night baby?
That's like the old classic TV shows, right? That they used to show. Yeah,
Like
every
right
now
after
and then.
Nickelodeon?
Yeah, like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. It's like Nick at Night. And
Yeah.
it shows, what was the famous show that they showed? Oh my goodness.
I Love Lucy.
It was I Love
It was
Lucy.
like, yeah. They did
And
like...
MASH. They showed MASH
Yeah,
too.
they showed MASH and like Happy Days. Like
Yeah,
that was my
You can
shit.
kill it. You can kill it. It's frozen. You know.
Yeah.
See? It's this internet.
Hate it when technology fails us.
Oh, my nose.
See that it did. The internet universe just struck back at you and got you. But yeah, no, I was a big Nick at Night baby. Like I knew the lineup and everything. Or
Of
my
Nick at
favorite.
Night?
Yeah, like I loved.
Were you a Space Ghost coast to coast kind of kid too?
Not really.
Me neither.
Yeah,
I never really
wasn't.
understood it. I feel like it's what Toonami, the beginnings of Toonami.
Yeah, totally. I was like what is it? I Dream of Jeannie, Happy Days, Mork and Mindy. Like I Love Lucy was like my shit. Like I would not go to sleep until my dad let me watch I Love Lucy. Like I'm not even joking.
Why?
Like, I don't know. It's just I don't know. I just really enjoyed like really old movies.
An old soul?
Manamku. Oh, yes, I am. Man, I am. Yeah, I think I am pretty old soul. I like old movies. I like jazz. I really like jazz a lot. I don't know. There's something about it. There's such a difference in the time. Everyone was so elegant yet classy. But there's like if you watch I Love Lucy now, I love finding the weird like what the fuck moments. You know, like she'll be smoking on camera. And like you can't do that anymore, but like they were real cigarettes.
Right.
Where like there's one episode she was pregnant, and like Ricky was just like lighting up in like the baby room, and I'm like, what are you doing? You know?
Yeah.
And so things like that, and just I think the comedy back then was like so just sincere and just
It was raw, more raw.
not so much raw, but it was just so innocent, like
Less sensationalized, right?
yeah, like there's no dirty jokes. I mean, if there was, you know, it's just really something simple. Like you close the door, his tie gets caught in the door. It's funny.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it was just so honest. And I don't know. So I just grew up on like Nick at Night. I think.
I grew up on one of my dad's favorite shows is Murder, She Wrote.
Oh, with Angela Lansbury.
Yeah.
She was in this movie called Bedknobs and Broomsticks. Did you ever see that? No? Okay.
And my mom really loved watching Lifetime movies.
Oh, yeah.
So she was a really big Lifetime movie fan and just like really
do the
realistic
laundry and
situations.
cry.
Like, what are we watching right now? Like, why am I getting in touch with my emotions at such a young age?
I know, right? Pregnant at 15. Like, oh my god! And like all the titles gave away the plot. Like I get it, you were pregnant at 15, right? Murder by the lake. Oh, someone was murdered by the lake. We get it.
This always happens.
Sorry.
On the podcast. We go down nostalgia road.
Always, because we're
Always.
getting old.
We are.
Yeah.
We are, and
Yeah.
I'm a big believer that we're one of the last we're the last generation to actually experience nostalgia, because I think everything that was created 2000, late 2000s and up, will be here forever because it's all on the internet.
Don't see that though. The internet might just crash. Then what are you guys gonna do, millennials? But as first gen millennials can light a fire. Can you do that? Just kidding.
Yeah, give me a lighter. Give me a lighter. Some.
Is there an app for that? Google it, YouTube it. Show me how.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. Well, I mean, it's the internet. I don't think the internet will crash anytime soon. But like, for instance, right? Like, I coach a speech and debate team.
Okay.
And so they're in high school right now. So they'll tell me things like, "Oh man, Miss Nia, today in the cafeteria was so great. Like, everyone played like nostalgic, like really old school, like Disney." And I was like so excited, like, "Oh, what did you play? Like a whole new world. Like, play it right now. Like, that's my jam." You know what I mean? And they're like, "No, like, you know, like Hannah Montana and like High School Musical." I'm like, "Get the hell out of here with that bullshit. Like, that is not classic Disney."
No, and the crazy thing is that we grew up off of things made in the 1920s and 1930s and 1940s, right?
Yeah.
All those cartoons, and then we grew up sort of on more modern stuff like Rocco's Modern Life and right, and the Cranberries the Cranberries. No, not the Cranberries. Not the band. Gosh, what is it? The Thornberries.
Thornberries.
The Thornberries.
No, Thornberries. Right.
With Liza, right?
Yes. Like
a
it.
Magic School Bus, but a lot of the classic Disney stuff that we know and understand.
Yeah.
It's
It's a different nostalgia.
Yeah.
You know, I think the new generation will always have it. You know, it is something that's really funny, though, about millennials, is that they are savage. Like, they are some clever little shits. I will tell you. Oh, my God. I'm sorry, you guys. Like, no offense. Dispensa. I'm sorry. I know, right? Shot through the heart. No, I mean, they're clever.
Yeah.
Like, I will give them that. They're super clever. Like,
Well, because they were exposed to so much.
exactly. Like, the
age.
way they process stuff is so funny. Like, I used to work for this company in Seattle, and I remember I was working with this younger chap who I was young at the time, but he was really young.
Younger chap.
Younger chap, you know. And then I was also working with this older gal, you know, who was like in her like 60s, you know, and he was like in his like early 20s, right? And he really did not like this older gal, like just hated her, you know. But she was like the sweetest thing, though. But he was just like, "Oh, she's so mean," blah blah blah. And then he's like, "You know what? I'm gonna stop helping her." And I'm like, "What do you mean you're gonna stop helping her?" And she's like, "Watch this." And then he'll be like, "Hey, Betty." And she's like, "Yeah, can you pull up that report?" And she's like, "Oh, wait a minute, honey. I can't do it." And then he just came over and was like, "She doesn't know how to work Excel." And just like walked off. And I'm like, "Oh, that is so mean." I was like, "That is so mean." Clever.
Yeah.
But mean, you know? I was like, they're clever.
They have tact to their.
Yes, they do. They're very, very clever. But you know, like I feel for this generation, I think, or this millennial generation, I think they really are going to make the world a better place. I mean, there's like so many research studies done that like you can go and they surveyed like elementary kids and they're like, "How do you feel about gay marriage? How do you feel about gay people? How do you feel like homosexuality? How do you feel about like civil rights? How do you feel about all this stuff?" And they're just like, "Oh, gay marriage is fine." You know, like, "Oh,
Wow.
love, we love." Like all this stuff, like they're just very like open. They're like,
I'd have to totally agree with you. Yeah.
yeah, they're like, "How do you feel about recycling?" They're like, "Oh, we should totally recycling." "What do you think about climate change?" Like, "Oh, that's totally happening." You know what I mean? Like they're like,
So now we're giving younger people opinions.
yeah, but like they're socially, I think, actually more conscious or more in tune in a very odd way because they're very like tech savvy and they're very like Instagram and Snapchat.
Well,
like,
yeah, they're
you know?
they're getting copious amounts of information
Yeah, well,
at one time,
exactly.
and they don't necessarily have that filter that we older millennials,
Do
right, or gray area millennials do have, right?
Exactly. Like they they take in so much information and they're exposed to so many different things, you know? So I feel like, and it makes it difficult too for people who are in marketing or branding or have a message to convey.
Because it's constantly changing.
Yeah. But also at the same time, it's like, what are we going to do to like like break through all of that noise? You know, like I think.
How do you stand out from the crowd?
Exactly. What's going to make you different? And I feel like there's so many different brands and things that are just coming at people. So it's like, how do I connect with this person now? Like,
and so that's what you sort of dealing with your
Mighty
marketing, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Like with Mighty Island. Well, yeah, mental health. Yes.
Yeah, both. Everything.
But,
Everything.
But and especially with Mighty Island, you know, other than us really having our own style to do things, and you know, either the way we shoot, the way we portray stuff, is kind of like we also have to think like, you know, there's so much stuff out there. You know, how are we going to just either keep pushing it, or how can we connect with the viewer? You know, those are things like I talk about, you know, and most of the time it's like, you know what, well, the best we could do is really just do what we want to do and what we think is cool, and just pray to the universe that they think it looks cool too, you know?
I mean, it took you guys to Alaska, so you have to be doing something, right?
I hope so.
And I
really
think
hope so.
I think for anybody doing something creatively or putting themselves out there in certain ways,
Yeah.
whether it be whether it be through
Yeah.
audio or visual or you can't worry about pleasing the masses.
Yeah, totally.
Not everybody's gonna like what you do or how you do it.
Exactly.
And everybody's
everyone has
gonna
their own taste.
yeah,
Yeah.
and you're gonna be like, well, I wouldn't have done it that way.
Yeah.
Well, I don't see you doing it.
Yeah. Totally. Exactly. It's like, well, then you get over here and you try it, you know?
Yeah, because I've been looking for some help here.
I need to start. Oh my gosh, when we were in Alaska, I was like, that's it. You know what? I think I need to start CrossFitting because this stuff is heavy. Like, I cannot lift this to save my life. Like, I need to like start working out,
20
guys.
pounds of clothes easily.
No, just the clothes, just walking around, right? Camera, Pelican. And I always said, like, I love how my friends do CrossFit, you know, because in case of an apocalypse, like, I'm going to need them.
Yeah,
you know,
to carry you.
No, carry me, but they can lift tires. They can move rope. Like, I'm going to need them to, like.
They can climb rope.
Yeah, like, I'm going to need them for survival.
They can swing on rings.
Exactly. Like, that, dude,
They can pull up themselves onto
they
a
are
roof.
the CrossFitters are gonna save us, I tell you.
No hate for the CrossFitters. I love
No,
you.
but
I
I'm
respect. I respect what you guys do because it's
Legit.
it's literally a tough thing.
It is.
It looks tough.
I wouldn't do it. Oh my gosh.
Like even the fittest people in the world, or the people who are doing it, they still get tired at the workouts. And they're like, "How are you still tired when you've been doing this? Like, aren't you supposed to sort of like get used to like the whole pain aspect? Like, oh yeah, I just did a great wad." But every single person, every time is like, "Okay, I just did a wad. I'm fucking dead."
Dude, I know. I'm just like, you know what? Well, good for you, man. Like, I support this decision.
I will be logistics. I'll run logistics for our whole apocalypse operation.
Exactly. Like in the event.
I'm the logistics guy too.
I know. Those with this PR, you're in this section. These PR, you're going these people.
So who lives over 300 here?
Exactly. I'm gonna need you over here.
We're gonna need you to fortify the house like now. Hey, dude, can we get that other? You still got time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, is this too long? We can go.
No. I'm just making sure you still got time.
Have we like gone over time?
No, there's actually no real time.
Oh.
What are we at?
I don't
right
want to like.
27
You're good,
I don't want to bore like those people out in T-Land.
Yeah, we're just about an hour 30 right now.
Jesus.
Oh, that's it.
If you are still listening right now, I appreciate you
Just leave it.
for
Thank
tuning
you.
in.
This is a new one right here.
You're a beautiful soul. Yes,
Oh, wait,
this
it's
one.
still good,
That
it's
one's
still
from Alaska. This one is from Minnesota. And Kyle's dad actually brought this back. So it's kind of fun. Like the craft beer game on Guam is definitely growing.
Yeah, I just ran into Tony Balaja and he's like, "Whenever you're ready to have me." I was like, "Whew. I don't know how ready I am to try tasty beers."
Yeah, I mean, it's weird being a girl that likes craft beer on island. I'll tell you that much. But
I think those guys really changed the beer game here, right? Because it's just been two solid companies pushing the beer game forward, and now you introduce something new that was started in the 70s in the United States, and in the early 2010s decade, you now introduce craft beer to Guam, and I mean, it's not bad at all. People, it's hard not to like.
Yeah.
Because we're so used to just beer, like, oh, like, okay, I'll get used to it. Right? As a young kid, right? As a young kid, let's all admit here, we've all drank when we were younger than we were supposed to drink, right?
Glared at the camera. Yeah. Actually, I did. I have to say, I waited till I was legal.
Really?
I did. I waited till I was 18.
What was there any like religious reasons or social reasons?
No. Oh my God. Yeah. Oh, going back to religious, I was actually Academy's May Queen. No, I shouldn't say that. I was
for the Mayflower. Yeah. So Catholic of you.
Oh my gosh. And it was so funny though, because they made me May Queen, and honestly, like, they called my dad like to like congratulate. He was like, "Are you sure? Like, have you met my daughter?"
Was this a raffle drawing?
What did this do, right? But it's the funniest thing, because I'm a pretty awkward person, right? And again, I don't like spotlight, but it was funny because I had to wear this like pink gown. It looked like I was gonna get married, right? But right before we did it, and I had to crown her. I just was like, oh God, I hope I do this right. Like it's nerve wracking. Like the whole cathedral just like, you know, like
with the spotlight, couple spotlights right on you.
Yeah, and then you have the choir going, and then you have this just. I'm very like high anxiety, right? So I like put it on, and I just, for some reason, I make this face, and I'm just like, ugh. And that's like, and for some reason that is the face that the PDN snapped, or like I think it was like the Catholic paper. So oh my God, on Sunday we pick up the paper, boom, like right on the front page is like me going like, oh my God. I also have to do that, but if I find it, I'm gonna send it.
I did a massage my cheek here. What is the Catholic paper called again? Do they ever put that online?
There's a
Umatuna. Hey, see if you can Google Umatuna, put Nia Serneo on it.
Oh my God, let me see if I can find it. But it is like legit. Oh my God, I can't.
I think.
That's funny.
I weirdly enjoy things going bad during serious situations. Like, I went to Easter Mass over at the cathedral, right?
Yeah.
And for some reason, I felt like as soon as I sat down and the band started playing, I was like, these guys are like a little over the top.
They're the extra.
Yeah, like they brought in the drums, and they brought in the keyboard guy that brings in the extra licks and stuff.
They're just
and then it kind of like it really dawned on me that they were being extra when the Archbishop was like, he did that look like,
was that
necessary?
necessary?
All right, band, end it, end the song.
Right, like, let's get this going.
And there's the guy in the back like, oh,
yeah. Pulling like a Whitney.
Yeah. So I just like how the in situations that are supposed to be serious.
Oh man.
You know, their life seems to find a way to make things funny.
Yeah.
And I think that
I
just
love
goes.
that though.
Yeah,
oh, that's like my life.
And that's my life.
Really? Dude, that's my life. It's our lives.
It's our lives. We're living one life here.
I know. Here, like sand through the hourglass. These are the days of our lives.
Oh my God. Oh shoot. Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm never coming on again. I'm like, she's like CCD all over again.
We're never inviting Nia again.
I know. Oh my God. Oh man.
She didn't bring enough beer.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Two on the side.
I didn't know it was a party. Had I known,
Nobody knows it's a party.
I didn't know the booth hired people.
Yeah, you know,
Jeez,
I'm not gonna be
fancy.
like. Honestly, I'm not gonna be like, so Nia, I have 2 extra guys. Just don't forget to think about them.
Well,
before
hello, do you
come
guys
over."
want some? Like, grab a glass. You sure? It's
No,
fine.
we have enough beer in the fridge.
Yeah.
I think he wants to taste the.
Oh, here, taste
He
some.
wants to
Here. It's a milk stout from Mr. Try it.
Yeah, Brian wants to taste
Try
the.
it. I don't have cooties. Jeez. All right.
I don't know where your mouth has been.
I don't know where your mouth has been. It's been on my face. Where do you think it's been?
My mouth has been closed all day, so there's bacteria built up indefinitely.
Everyone's mouth. Kona
Yeah.
has a cleaner mouth than all of us.
No, Kona licks his butthole. That's what happens with Kona.
Oh.
This has been fun. I haven't drank on the podcast in a while.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
When's the last
man,
time we
I'm a
drank?
Bad influence.
Joe Cruz, right?
Oh, Joe Cruz. Yeah.
Last
During the
night? Oh, got called out. Get it?
Yeah, during the podcast, right? It was
The first shots, though, yeah.
yeah. Me and the real Joe Cruz were taking shots. But that was last year.
Dude.
That was the first time he came on in October. So
Wow. I know. The last time I was on, I brought Cards Against Humanity, and I really wanted to bring another game today, but I forgot. I'm sorry.
it's okay.
It's with the other beer that I was supposed to bring too. But it's the Speak Out game. So next time that
I have it.
you have it,
Yeah, I have it.
has it been sterilized? Because I don't know where your mouth has been.
I soaked that in Dawn soap and water.
Dog soap.
Dawn soap. Dawn.
Dawn soap. Oh.
Dawn.
Are you,
Dish soap.
are you supposed to do that? You're supposed to boil it.
Here comes another Chamorro word.
Didn't read the directions.
Dish soap.
Dish soap. Dude, do you ever notice that like the items just become the brand names? Like everything is Pamper. Like, all the baby diapers.
The brand name becomes the item.
Yeah, like he needs a Pamper.
Yeah.
He needs Pampers.
Get me a Pamper in there.
Give me Pamper.
Where's the Pampers? The Love's right there. No.
Oh.
The diaper.
Exactly. Everything's Pamper.
Yeah.
Like, you can go to the store and get Pamper. What brand? Pamper, right?
Just get me Pampers. They don't have Pampers here. Get me a Pamper
Yeah.
brand.
Like, dude, did you know that Spam is called luncheon meat?
Yeah.
Oh.
Spam is the brand.
Yes, but I mean, I found that out late in life.
Yeah, just like potted meat, right?
What the hell is that? Oh, yeah.
Potted meat is like crushed up sausage meat.
A little help here, Google.
It's all the bad ration food that was introduced into our lives.
Yeah.
Being islanders.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is considered like actually way more special because it was something you had to bring in.
Right.
But dude, do you not love you some Spam?
Yeah.
I don't eat meat,
when I went out to
but
really, you don't eat meat?
I don't eat meat.
Why?
Huh?
Why?
It's a life decision. It's a very personal question, boo. They just get you. Yeah. I don't eat meat. I started eating meat when I was like 15. It's been like 14 years.
Wow.
Yeah. I know. And I'm from Agate for shame. Right? And I'm Filipina, so that's even worse.
Yeah, that's even worse. Like, pork is everything to a Filipino, right?
I know. You're telling me. But no, I did it for like just a lifestyle change. You know, a couple of my aunts were pescatarian, so I still eat fish though.
Okay.
Or I eat seafood because I can't give up.
So how do you go to a restaurant
sushi.
here?
I drive like everyone else. What do you think?
What do you get?
Excuse the Guamanian in
I'm
me.
just kidding.
Just like how,
I see
just like
what
how
you're
you,
saying.
just like how you on the light
Yeah, open.
and open the light and off and close the
I'm
light.
just kidding. I'm kidding. Okay, so a lot of places on Guam, they do serve seafood, and they're actually getting better at being vegetarian friendly.
Okay.
You know, I've also learned like little tricks of the trade, like you can go to Taco Bell and they will sub your meat for either potatoes or like beans.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you eat a bean taco.
You get a bean taco, yeah. Or you
I
can
don't-
get
honestly,
you can
I
get a
don't-
potato taco.
I don't know what I would do without meat.
Yeah,
Like how has it affected you
me?
positively and negatively?
Positively, I think it's like I spent a lot less money on things, right? Like, but I think, I don't know, like after I gave it up, I mean, I just read like a bunch of documentaries. I mean, I watched a lot of documentaries, read like a bunch of books, and just decided, I'll give it a shot. And like at 15, you're still growing. So my parents were very smart about it, and they like were very helpful too. They're like, okay, well then you're gonna lack nutrients. Like if you're gonna give up meat, like be smart about it.
Okay.
Like
Yeah, right.
at least
Don't straight up go on the bread and butter diet.
yeah, exactly. So they're like, eat protein bars in the day. Like at least cut out red meat, and you can eat chicken until you're like 18 or something. Like kind of we planned it out a little bit better.
Oh, yeah.
So over the years, I just weaned off of it, and then now it's like I don't crave red meat at all. Like I don't really.
Your mouth doesn't water when you see it.
No. I mean, it smells good. I was just like, oh, that smells so good. But I don't. Because I know if I eat it, I'm gonna get a stomach ache.
Yeah,
It's gonna
because now
suck.
your
Yeah.
stomach biota is different.
Yeah, like the enzymes are
Right,
like, what
right,
is
right.
this? But I will tell you something. Whenever I travel, I'll eat everything, because you're never gonna get it again.
Wait, what? So
Yeah.
you eat meat when you travel?
Yeah, I just take the pain like a soldier. I just
Fucking diarrheas for days,
do
man.
not just you just think about the better days in life. I when I travel, that's my only one rule is if it's something I can't get on Guam or I can't get in my everyday life, like I'll try it.
Yeah, like venison or moose or elk. Or...
Yeah, like when we were in Alaska, I tried moose pie, and it was good. I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna tell people like that's inhumane or whatever.
Ew.
But, yeah.
Ew.
Like I'm not gonna go
you're
and.
so gross.
Yeah, like
Ugh.
how could you eat that? Like I'm not a high maintenance like pescatarian either.
Okay,
like if
okay.
you cook it on the same pan, like it's fine.
Right.
Like it's fine. But like the problems like when I was trying, like when I was in Kenya, I didn't want to be disrespectful to my homestay parents. So, like, they're like, oh, we heard you're a vegetarian. I'm like, no, if it's easier for you to cook meat, like, just cook whatever you want to cook, and I will eat it, And then, like, oh, God. So they, like, cook, like, stews or, like, some barbecue, and I just be in my sleeping bag, like, oh, my God. I'm so much pain right now. But I took it.
I need to take a shit. So
Took it like a champ. And the worst part is you couldn't go to the bathroom, too, because, the bathroom was like the outhouse was outside the house, and there was like no
wild animals and stuff they have to worry about.
Yes, and bats. So there's bats in the outhouse, and then like they're like, oh, watch out for the hyenas, and I was like, you're so funny, Mama.
Casual.
Yeah,
right?
she's like, no, I'm serious, and I'm like, oh. I'm not going to the bathroom right now. Like I'll wait, and I'll like be in my sleeping bag, just like staring at the window, like sun come up. Sun come up. Just like, come on, you're almost there. And then as soon as it's up, they're like, book it, and be like, me first. But yeah, crazy. I have some weird meat travel stories where I'll get sick or.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, because my diet is different here than it is to any Asian country that I travel to. Mm-hmm. So I get really bad bowel movements when I do travel to Asian countries and eat street food.
Yeah. Because it's weird. I mean, like the ingredients
and the bacteria that they have there that encompasses their stomach linings is the different from the bacteria here. But when I go to Philippines, it's fine.
Yeah.
So it must be sort of like similar bacteria. Nice solid.
It's like a sister.
Nice solid.
Cousin. A cousin of our bacteria.
Definitely relatives.
Well, when we were in the Philippines, we didn't get sick. A couple months ago, we went to Palawan, and we didn't get sick at all.
Palawan?
Palawan. Palawan. They say Palawan. Palawan.
Okay, Palawan. How do you spell
Palawan.
it? What is it?
Palawan.
Okay.
Palawan.
Okay.
spelling bee, right? So, but yes, so you should go. It is absolutely beautiful.
Okay.
And
Is it like a island in the Philippines?
yes,
Okay.
so it's one of like the outer islands. And you take like a plane, and then a boat. Yeah, but it's so pretty. Like honestly, like when you're like that was like the best vacation I think I've ever taken.
Just away from
so
everything.
Far. Yeah, you know, and it's such a good feeling, and it's so beautiful. There's so many places in the Philippines.
I'm gonna have
where,
to look into it.
yeah, where it's completely untouched. I have a great recommendation. I'll text you later.
Okay.
Where it's completely untouched and where there's more to the Philippines than Manila.
Right.
You know, like I always tell people, like there's way more to the Philippines than just Manila. You know, and so I mean, like you can travel there. Like people go to Thailand a lot and like Japan a lot. But I was like, but actually the Philippines is actually a pretty cool place to go. You know.
Yeah, you got thousands of islands there.
Yeah, and it's like, and you have something in common. Like you like lumpia, they got lumpia. Like why not? Like you should just go. But yeah, but I think yeah. So definitely go to Palawan. But their food there was amazing. Like it was so good, and it was like no one got sick there. But sometimes in Manila, like I'll come back and I'll get sick. Like
Yeah.
I'll try some like beef marrow, bone marrow, because like life is too short. Like why not? Just try it and I'll get a fever.
Stuffed chicken intestines.
Yeah, yeah. It's just like, well, why not? You're never gonna get it again. You
Yeah.
know? Yeah. Like you travel like a whole bunch.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. You were on a recent trips lately.
Yeah. Where have I been lately? The last place I went to was Japan for my birthday. But it was just in the city. I've been doing a lot of city stuff. The last time I did actually like a country thing is when I went to Thailand, and I went I took the train to Ayutthaya from Bangkok, and then I spent some time I think I spent like a few days in Chiang Mai, and
It sounds like fun.
yeah, Thailand is loads of fun. Loads of fun. There's just so much history there. There's so much destruction that happened there, right? A lot of destruction that they're trying to preserve, and the fact that they still have a king is blows my mind.
Yeah.
And you're not like allowed to talk about him.
Yeah.
Say anything. Say even like utter the words of the king.
He's like savage too.
Yeah. Well,
Or, I mean, like-
the last king died.
Yeah.
So Boomable is the one that
He's the one
died.
that put the cardboard cutout during a press conference, right?
Really?
Yeah, like he was just like, I don't want to deal with press, and he just put a cardboard cutout and just walked away.
Really?
Yeah.
What can you look that up? Is it the current king of Thailand?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. He's a young guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they pulled him from like Germany. He was like hanging out in Germany, and
As
he was like,
princes do, I guess.
yeah, and I guess he was like, into like the party scene and stuff, and he had like tattoos, and he's very flamboyant. I think that's the current king of Thailand
Yeah,
right
I
now.
think so. He's the king of Thailand.
Or just
Where he puts
like a cardboard,
cardboard
cutout,
cutout.
antique. Is it Thailand? I think it's Thailand.
Oh no!
Yeah,
please.
watch it. It's so funny.
Yeah, Thailand though is really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I think for any Asian country, right? If you see, that's this guy. Bye bye.
See, it's so funny. Oh, it's
no,
the PM.
the PM. Yeah, yeah.
It's so funny.
Go back to the restart it again. Let's see this.
It's so funny. I love it.
And he does the fucking rock sign.
He's like, rock on, people. I'm out.
I'm out. Damn.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So funny.
Yeah. So the Google the current king of Thailand. Actually.
Current king of Thailand. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like a
that's
young
it?
guy. Yeah, so Boomable is his father, and he's the one that passed away. And he was.
Mahavajiralongkorn. Did I say that right?
I don't even know.
Longkorn.
But anyways, like he was just like, he was known for partying and getting tattoos and just not being very royal, right?
Oh, gotcha. That's dope.
Hopefully, no one from Thailand listens to this, and then they find out I'm in Thailand. They'll be like, hey, you were talking about the king.
Oh, so sorry.
Yeah, when I was in an Uber, I was actually talking about the king to a
Uber driver?
to the Uber driver, and he was like, "Oh, we don't really do that, but since we're in a private quarters in public, you don't do it. But since we're in a private space where no one else can hear us, then I can answer your questions of what it is." And at that time when I was out there, the king had just got admitted to the hospital, and he was
So there was
well, he was sick, and no one knew he was gonna die, but there was like rumors, right? But even just rumors, you can't even the press couldn't even
talk about it.
it.
Maybe like a bad juju thing.
No, it's just you're talking about royalty, right?
Oh, true.
It's just I think it's a sign of respect.
Makes
I think that's what it just boils down to.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Except for now, everyone's just like,
yeah.
I don't care who the hell's our president.
President who?
President what?
King who?
I would say whatever the hell I want about him.
Right. Dude, one thing I did want to bring up that we touched a little bit on our last conversation when you were on, it was how was it your grandfather that came here as part of those migrants from Iloilo?
Yeah.
And sort of they were part of over 10,000 people that were brought to rebuild Guam
after the war.
Yeah, so I was looking it up, and there was actually like a documentary made.
Yeah, there was. Yeah.
Under the American Sun, and I thought the history was deeper than we had discussed, and I was freaking out, just freaking out because I didn't know it was that amount of people. Of just mostly men and then some women, and then most of the people left, but your grandfather was one of the few. I mean, maybe hundreds or thousands that stayed, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that Camp Rojas was where Rizal Beach is, where the whole pavilion is at.
Yeah. It was the Iloilo Association built the pavilion.
Right.
Yeah, when it was still public, though. I don't think it's public anymore.
Oh, so that pavilion wasn't there when they were living there. It was more like Quonset huts.
Yeah. So they were like that area and Sumai area, like on base.
Okay.
Yeah. It was like where the camps were like actually on base.
Okay.
Yeah. So and that's how I ended up in Agate.
Yeah, and it makes sense. It makes total sense.
So guaranteed, like if you find
and there's a big Filipino community in Agate, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of them just ended up staying there.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think like it's so funny because everyone teases me like, yeah, she's Filipino, but she's from Agate, so everyone's like telling me like, oh, Nia's so chod or something, right? But I think it's just because we've been here for a very, very long time, and my grandparents really like immersed themselves into the culture here. And my grandfather came very, very young, and even in that documentary when they interviewed people,
have you watched it?
I have seen excerpts from it.
Okay.
But when they were interviewing people for like papers and stuff, he was quoted, and he said like, I spent most of my life on Guam, and Guam's my home, and it's interesting just because I ethnically I am Filipina, and I'm taking a greater effort into learning and being more Filipina, but essentially it's a weird identity crisis. Everyone tells me I have an identity crisis, because I'm Filipina, but
Aren't we all, Nia? Are we all?
Let me tell you about, we're going into this Guam identity thing, right? But I'm an American. I'm ethnically, Filipina, but I'm from Guam, right? So it's this quadruple mixture, but also at the same time it's very American, where you have different ties to different places. But when we're looking at the context of Guam, though, I think it's interesting because my perspective on a lot of things are very different. I don't know.
Compared to just a regular local who's maybe Chamorro and grew up here?
Yeah, or even more similar. You know what I mean? I think I'm just from the way we were raised we're more in tune with maybe like a Guamanian or maybe like a Chamorro identity. You know, I don't know. I don't want to cause a ruckus on this show. We're gonna start commenting. We're gonna get into a Facebook battle, and I'm just gonna nod it. But I mean, it's like I do think like this is my home, and like this is where I was, brought up, and this is my identity.
I wasn't even born here.
Really?
Yeah, I was born in Tennessee.
Oh, well, then what are you doing here? This is my island. You get off. I'm just kidding. No.
But I was raised here since I was 3.
Yeah.
And I have generations of family that was here.
Yeah.
But what makes you less of a Guamanian or Chamorro, quote unquote, right?
Yeah.
I mean, going back to this whole ordeal of what is Chamorro, but
yeah.
What makes you less than me? Because
Yeah.
I wasn't born here, but I have blood. Yeah.
But I mean-
diluted blood.
But if you want to go into like the whole blood thing, right? But remember I told you in the last podcast, I told you about the story about how the guy yelled at me at the gas station, right?
Yeah.
And so things like that will often come up. It's just kind of like,
Has anything recently happened since then? Where you experienced that sort of...
I really don't want to go in. Not really, but it's more so like the idea of... I don't want to say it. Like, it's like the idea of like like a decolonization idea, where it's where it just kind of comes up and it's just like, well, technically, like, what are you doing? Oh my God.
Go ahead.
Where it's
Did I distract you?
Yes, I was like, what are you doing? Okay. Well, like, so if we talk about decolonization, and to be quite honest, like, I truly do believe in self-determination. But when we talk about what it's like to be ethnically Filipino, when there's this idea of to be Filipino means that you speak the language, you are very in tune with that side, which I mean I do, but the Philippines is not my home. Like, Guam is my home, and sometimes people will say things where like, you're Filipino, like, this is not your home, and if we decolonize, you can go back to the Philippines because that is your home. And if you're in the middle, you're kind of like, no. Like,
yeah,
it's like, why would you? What do you mean? Like, if we decolonize, you guys are gonna send me like back to this place I know nothing about? I'm like, I know the Fort Bonifacio. I know where all the nightclubs are. I just don't. Like, I don't speak the language. I just. And so, I mean, maybe it's bad on me for being a bad Filipino, right? But like, it's just.
But you identify with this place more than you would with the Philippines.
Exactly, and it's
because
kind of
when
like,
you go to the Philippines, you're vacationing.
Exactly, or it's just like, and it's a very humbling idea to think that my grandfather did jump on a boat and took a job in Guam to try to have himself have a better life. Like, it's a very humbling idea.
Right.
And then when you go back to the Philippines and
like, you think about it, it's like, damn, is this something that I would have done when I was that age?
Exactly. Or you think of like, what if he never jumped on that boat?
Yeah.
Like, my family could either...
You wouldn't have probably never been thought of.
Exactly. I could have never been on this podcast. No, I think of like, how there's a big disparity where there's a lot of poverty in the Philippines. I think like, could I have been like a kid in poverty in my life? What would have my life been like? Like, I could have been a fisherman's daughter instead of, my dad was in the military and like contracts, and my mom's teaching. Like what would that have been like? And it's a very like humbling thought. And so it's kind of like he did uproot himself and he came here and we created a life here, and this is the life that we currently live. So sometimes, and when people will say things like, you're Filipino, you don't belong on Guam, or like, Guam isn't your home, it is a little bit hurtful.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I dedicate everything that I am to this island.
I mean, you fucking moved back here to get back to this place.
I moved back here. I was like, we love, like, I love the culture. Like, this is my culture. This is my home. And I think that sometimes it is a little bit hurtful when people think, my last name may not be ethnically Chamorro, or it might not be local, or I can't trace my ancestry back to so-and-so or so-and-so or so-and-so,
Yeah. My ancestry goes back to Chief Harao and the Filipina servant that he laid to bed.
Exactly. I mean, there's a lot of shame and scandal, I'm sure, in like the history of my family too.
Well, in the history of a lot of families, right? A lot of Guam. I mean, it's a small island.
But I mean, how many Serneos do you know?
Yeah,
Guaranteed.
I know 2 so far.
Miko and Nia, right? Same mom, same dad. But yeah, so I think just that kind of like ties to the land is it is different, and I will never take that away from people who are ethnically Chamorro. It just kind of like, well, I mean, there is a little bit of a history here too. When it comes to people who did come here in Camp Rojas and how Filipino culture has immersed itself in what is considered Guam culture. Like, you ever go to a fiesta without some lumpia? I think not.
Right.
Like, what's a fiesta plate without this or this?
Right.
And I think we can, like, for instance...
There's always cut and pico, which is a derivative of adobo.
Exactly. Or like, I don't know, baboy, babui, pig. Who cares? It's delicious. I mean,
I think we're
all things
slowly,
aside.
but I do think we're slowly coming out of that mindset, right?
I think so.
But I think when it comes down to the self-determination, we can't exclude people who are involved with generations and generations of families here.
Exactly. And so, like, it's like I will never, and I believe it's completely up to them, and they have that right because it was taken away from them, right? And I do think, like, that right was taken away from a lot of people in the Philippines, but they let her self-determined and all this stuff. They wanted to be part of America. Anyway, big thing. But it's just a very, like, everyone, that's why I think the jokes are really funny. It's like Nia is Filipino, but she's from Agate. She's a, like, super duper chod, and, like, she's, and it's like, so everyone expects me,
But
like.
she's so American.
Exactly. Or, like, everyone expects me to, like, kind of, like, either like, I don't have an accent anymore. Like, I've never had an accent. I don't think.
It's an interesting beer. It tastes like coffee.
It's a stout, milky stout. But yeah, so I don't know. So I think that sometimes that will come up, and it kind of does hurt me because as a person who's lived here all my life and identify with this as being the greatest place in the universe and this being my
of
home.
All of the massive Guam, of the world, you choose this place to be the place that's special to you. Exactly. And I think people freak out. People who aren't from here, they truly, really freak out at people who are from here. Yeah. And how much we really care about a place. Because a lot of the people, maybe from the States, they don't really give a fuck about the place that they're at. Maybe if it's a smaller town, maybe, just maybe, but they're still trying to get the fuck out of there.
Yeah. Yeah, like, and then, like, here's a good point, right? Like, everyone will, like, that idea, like, the girl needs to be rescued from her island. Like, F off. Like, I love this island. It's my island. You should take me off this island. Like, I'll cut you. Like, if I want to leave this island, like, I work hard if I can take myself off the island, right? But, or whatever. But, like, this is my little piece of home, and this is my, like, identity, and I just think it sucks because sometimes it gets diminished a little bit. Like, I don't think how, like, I try to show...
It's not appreciated as you would like it to be?
Yeah, it's kind of like, well, what do you know? Because your grandparents, like, came here. Yeah. And I was like, Do you feel like you're generalized into a category of people who don't belong here, that maybe indigenous people believe that, they just came here, no, yes and no. I'm sorry, we're really digging deep into the sort of, like, it's important though. Yeah. Right? It's important to sort of recognize that this is still a problem. We're in 2018, and this shit is still a problem. Yeah. To where I'm Chamorro. I look Filipino. Like, you can admit it, right? I look Filipino, don't I? You look Mexican, to be quite honest.
It's a mustache. Yeah.
It's a mustache. But I think what it, like I said, the way that I like to think about things is understanding how the world and history works, right? And so I just much rather like to understand that everywhere in the world there are people who once owned that land, but evolution shows how people move and societies had to grow and they change, and there's a lot of bad things that happen with them, with societies taking over other societies. But since the dawn of time, like that's kind of like a weird human nature thing, is for other people to either for whatever reasons they're always, one thing people always freaking fight over is land. And I think that understanding how we all got to this place is more important, than fighting who actually owns it. Like it's important, or actually like who owns, like this is mine. I will say there's a lot of hardships and there's a lot of bad things that happened when land was taken away.
Yeah, in between.
And in between, right? But it's like we can't go back to that time anymore, because we're now in 2018 where society is like, globalization has connected so many people. There's so many intricacies.
The world is so flat right now.
Yeah, I know, right? It's freaking flat. Where how our society is made, like how our social constructs are made, right? Or how we're able to have a podcast right now is because this and this. Like there's so many moving parts to a society and to a culture. And then I think the most important thing, that the best thing we can do is kind of pause and understand where we are currently, how we got there, but how we make it better. Not necessarily rewind. And then I also think mixed in with that, with this weird Guam culture, is being from Guam is this, and it's a human thing also. Sorry, I see I'm all over the place. Is everybody has this idea of what is different than them, and everyone likes to focus on what makes them different. I think a lot of times people don't focus on maybe what makes them the same or what makes them similar. But or even just if you find those differences, appreciating difference rather than being like, I'm so against it.
I think it goes back to something that I read about. I think it was a cartoon that did it. One of those. I don't know if it was Family Guy or whatever it may be. They said even if we were gray blobs, everybody in this whole entire world were gray blobs.
Yeah.
People will still find a way to differentiate themselves from each other. Like, oh, I'm a bigger gray blob and a shinier one. Yeah. And so all the shiny ones come over here, and all of the bigger ones come over here, and then the people who are kind of hybrid come over here, right?
Like, I think, but see, that's also human nature. We want to put a label to understand things, right? We want to be able to, the way we think is we want to be able to put a name on it, like categorize it, try to understand how it all works, right? So that makes sense. I just think when it comes to a sense of identity, a lot of people maybe forget, like, how we became who we are. Like, I'm Nia Mango Serneo. Add me on Facebook. I'm Nia Mango Serneo because
Is that your middle name, Mango, for real?
No. No, it's not. I have a story for that one. But like, I understand that's because, I'm Nia Mango Serneo on Facebook because I volunteered in Panama, and my community leader introduced me as Mango because I told her I liked mangoes. So everyone in the community called me Mango. Like, no one knew my name was Nia the whole time I was there. So in order for them to add me on Facebook, I had to put Mango. And it just kind of stayed, Right. And so then understanding that, it's I was able to volunteer in Panama because I went to this university in Seattle, and I got there because I went to this school on Guam, and my grandfather came to America, and so you know what I mean? Like, that's how you translate, like, this experience was given to me because of all these other things happened. Right. It's like understanding your domino effect, and then appreciating the domino that came before you, and then understanding, like,
and not really dwelling on the domino that came before you, right?
Yeah, or not finding, like, what's the one that triggered it. It's like, if you want to find it and be like, hey, man, thanks for tipping over, instead of like, why the fuck did you tip over, domino? Go back, and you can't do that.
You weren't the domino that was supposed to come down.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that, you know, and as we get smarter and society changes, there's a lot of like injustices or maybe flaws within the domino flow that we can fix.
Mm-hmm.
We can go back and we can make them straighter, you
Yeah.
know. But that doesn't redo the entire pattern.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it doesn't change a thing.
It doesn't change a thing. It may straighten it out, but how do we, you know, how do we fix? We can't unless you tip it back.
Yeah.
Right?
And that's impossible.
Exactly. So I think it's just it's really when a person thinks of their identity, you know, be it to everybody, you know, fighting their fights and believing in what they believe in, and I just highly suggest it's really important for a lot of people to understand, especially for those who don't want to understand, to try. You know, and understand and appreciate where you do come from. It's a very humbling thing to do.
Yeah, and I think for Chamorros, we need to understand that there are different people who have made their life here.
Yeah.
And the fact that we're still discussing this as if it's a continued problem, because it is.
Yeah.
I think that's the only way we're gonna move forward.
I think also the thing.
Like I guess there's something. Sorry to cut you off.
No.
There's just something that. Oh, this was taken away from us. Oh God, a lot of people are gonna hate me for this. There's something that was taken away from us, but it was, it was never given back to us, and we want it back. So give us what we want back, so we can start moving forward instead of. Let's move forward from where we are now.
Yeah. Or even if moving forward means you give it back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or like we find a way to figure this out together.
And so
yeah.
Go ahead. I already cut you off. Go ahead.
Everyone's gonna hate us. Oh God. I think the other thing.
Just wait until I get somebody who's really against the views that we're discussing right now on the show. They're gonna be like, dude, I heard that podcast with Nia. I would like to be on a podcast with Nia.
They're gonna be like, yeah, heard that podcast with Nia. What's her address, her social security number, what the license plate, what slash all her tires. I'm just kidding. No, they won't. I don't think anyone would.
Well, they know it's a yellow Jeep, so.
Shit. I'm just kidding. I know, right? But I think I'll tell you the truth, and this is publicly let it known. I'm not against decolonization.
No, not at all.
Yeah, I'm not.
I think decolonization, though, is a heavy word.
I think so.
Heavier than what we need it to be.
It has to go with how the idea of it has been marketed, or like how the awareness of either spread. You know what I mean? Like how we get that message. And
it's a very closed-minded message, honestly.
Yeah.
Because I never really understood it growing up. Not once.
Exactly.
When I was in middle school or high school did I ever utter the word decolonization.
Yeah.
Never, ever. Until I moved back to Guam.
Yeah.
That's the only time I ever heard about decolonization.
I had to write a paper on it in high school.
Okay.
But like.
I think I was just too into surfing and girls and.
Oh yeah, me too.
Surfing and girls. Nia.
No. Not that anything's wrong with it. I mean,
No, not at all.
But I think when it comes to for like the way I understand things is, you know, the way that economically the way the island is built and how the island exists within the greater world, right? So that's how I always like try to figure out how things work, right? So what does decolonization mean? Like, well, we don't have our own resource. We don't export anything that we know of, like that we could yet on a mass scale, right? But I think there's everyone's gonna hate me. Okay, so like I'm just gonna say it. At work, so I'm saying there's a theory of historical trauma, right? And it's how injustice is done to a group of people over a long duration of time build up within all the societies that followed that initial trauma.
Okay.
And because of that decision or because of what was happened, all the generations form this traumatic ideology or trauma, or they
response maybe.
exactly,
Okay.
you know. So like, for instance, we can trace some racism to a lot of historical trauma. Like people can, for instance, people cannot like Filipino people because maybe you know, something happened to them that involved a Filipino person,
Yeah, or
right?
their grandma didn't like Filipinos.
Exactly.
And
because of some historic, like I can find it in the textbooks that we got into, like, you know, da-da-da versus agate and just you know. But I mean, we got to like a war, for instance, right?
Okay.
Like a war. And so when I like to think of historical trauma is, you know, it's justified why people are so upset. Is because there are generations and generations of injustices that was done onto them.
Mm-hmm.
So I see where like the anger comes from,
Right.
you know, or where that passion does come from. But then on the other side, I'm totally like, oh man, like all our systems are like federally funded. Like we run on like billions of dollars of federal grants. Like I just wrote a grant last year asking for like $5 million. You know what I mean? Like just
Right.
like that's also like my mindset as well. It's like we need to understand like now in 2018, like
We have to be realist.
yeah, kind of like what this happens, right? But then you think about the idea of this decolonization, and everyone's angry because they have lost a sense of identity and culture along the way, right? So don't you think that maybe, and I think we're doing a really good job at this renaissance of cultural identity on Guam, and we're doing a great job at revitalizing culture and language and, you know, dance, and really trying to understand like what is authentically Guam. I think there's a really big push right now to find out what is authentically us, and I'm totally for that, you know, and I think a lot of people want that. So it's like, well, so then how do we self-determine to go that route of pursuing more cultural things, right? Without actually having to maybe diminish all outside influence. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I haven't maybe read so much on it or really looked into it so much to find out what would be that happy medium.
Is that my phone connected to the computer? Yeah. It's my lady calling.
Hi, Colin! But anyway, yeah, we're gonna get so much flack for this. I'm sorry, guys.
No. I
But-
understand where you're coming from.
I just kind of, yeah. I
Maybe
don't know.
there's some things. I mean, we can't look at it all as, you know, we are extremely and fully dependent on outside sources really supporting us and stuff like that. Fuck. Sorry.
Answer it.
yeah.
She misses you. Just answer it.
She's like, why is this podcast going on for so long? No, we are really, I think it's the Jones Act that holds us back from free trading with other people to actually create maybe not having to spend so much on different things, such as spend so much on imports, right?
Yeah.
Maybe we can get bananas from Pohnpei, right? Maybe we can get strawberries from Japan, and then we can get mangoes from the Philippines.
Yeah.
And maybe we won't run out of things, and maybe that's just, but then again, we have to really think realistically, right? Of how much we were affected. I always bring it up on the show, like, what if the United States was like, all right,
We're done.
we're done, we're gonna
Yeah.
walk out. It's up to you guys what you figure out.
Korea's gonna come over.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
What's gonna happen? Are we gonna have a president? Are we gonna have a governor? Are we gonna have a chief?
Yeah.
Are we gonna go back to those ways that we've been like nostalgic for, really wanting to get back? Right? No, not at all. Because now
What does
there's
that
a
mean?
melting pot of cultures here that people. It's not just one way of life. It has to be that sort of new developed culture
Yeah.
that we've created for ourselves that involves everybody
Yeah.
who makes up this place.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that I like that idea moving forward. Like, I think that there has to be a way where I don't know if you're more for free association
I don't.
or what. Honestly, I want to see how it plays out. But I think that there's like, what does this mean? Does it mean we get everything like taken away? Like, and basically, let's be honest. We just want to see the plan.
Yeah.
Like, show me the plan, and then we'll talk.
Right.
But nobody has released anything.
Not a document,
Like,
not a research,
exactly.
nothing.
I was like, if you want us to like think about something, show me the plan. Like, I want to know how we're gonna wean off like public health, which is like 100% fairly funded. I want to know,
or how
like,
we can get 51,000 people off of the SNAP program.
Exactly. Or exactly how like half of this island is on the SNAP. Everyone is off food stamps. Like not everybody, but I would say it's like 30-40%. I forgot the exact number.
Well, I think
it's a very
30,
big portion.
1/3 is on food stamps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And food stamps are always supposed to be temporary.
Right. But you're creating generations and
It's
generations.
It's generations of people that are reliant dependency on food stamps.
Right.
And a lot of people say, well, maybe that's because of because they had no choice in the beginning. Like it'll go always back to the beginning and say, well, maybe it's because we did this to them, But okay, yes, we get it. It happened. What do we do now? It's like stop blaming the past for a second. What do we do now?
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of like, show me the money. Like, show me the plan. Show me the plan.
Show me the money.
Yeah, like I just want to know the plan. Like I want to know the plan so I can figure out my life. Like you got a plan for decolonization, like a full-on plan.
Right.
Like I want to know how you're gonna handle this. I want to know how I can keep my iPhone.
What are the steps? if how you gonna convince 500,000 Guamanians who reside in the States and everywhere around the world that they're going to lose their U.S. citizenship and they're not going to be able to come to the United States ever again?
Yeah.
Unless they get a visa.
Yeah.
How are you going to convince them?
How exactly? Like, or how is this going to like play out? Like, are we going to build our own military now?
Uh-huh.
Are we all going to...
All the tough questions. These are really all tough questions.
And I mean, I've gone to a few of the talks. I will be honest, I have gone to a few of the talks. But at the end of every talk, it's just show me the plan. Like, I know we have, 50 years to decolonize if we choose to decolonize. Show me the year for year, play by play, what is the plan?
I always talk about how the Philippines did it.
Yeah, but look at the Philippines. 1, bajillions of people.
Right.
2, so much freaking land. They export mango, they export sugarcane,
the resources
they have but also look at the Philippines and say the disparity between the socioeconomic disparity between the rich and the poor is greatly immense.
Well, I think it was Roosevelt that said that the Philippines was never meant to be a territory of the United States.
Yeah, because they wanted to be they wanted to be American.
And so but they also wanted to decolonize. And so they started by becoming a free association first. And after they became a free association and they figured out their shit, they worked with a couple of Senate congressmen. Is it Senate? Congressmen. They worked with a couple of congressmen from different states to help get the clock started for independence.
Yeah.
Because in the I think it was it was around the 1920s, there was a revolution. There was a bunch of Filipino militia sort of attacked the base and shit went down and they failed and stuff like that. But there were still people lobbying other people. Who's lobbying now for us to start the clock and how we're going to get these things and how we're going to, and who is creating the plan of, okay, this is how we're going to support ourselves. This is where we're going to get our resources. This is how we're going to do the thing. Like you said, there's no plan.
Yeah.
Everybody, we're just talking like, give it to us and then we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
No.
Somebody come up with a plan.
Yeah.
Or at least an outline, like a template. Let me know, what my grandchildren are going to be doing, Are my grandchildren American? Are they Filipino? Are they Guamanian? I don't know.
Or am I going to be suffering in 20 years? Because there's nothing. We don't have anything. Or am I going to just have to desert this place altogether?
Exactly. That's what happened. My 401k is connected to an American bank. What happens now, Yeah. So, I don't know. All these questions, it's kind of show us a plan. And I don't know. I think everyone just should come out and just vote and just get more educated about it. I don't know. I think there's so much information that needs to be back out there. It's
and for as much, and it's weird. the irony in it all is for as much information that
Yeah.
we receive every day,
We still don't know.
still don't know.
We still don't know.
Still don't know.
But no hate, so much love for everybody. We're just saying.
Yeah, well, everyone's fighting the good fight, right?
Yeah.
Everybody. So this is my sort of conclusion to all of it. Because everybody we know is fighting for a different thing, believes in different things than we do. But let me tell you, in the next 30 years, everything that is happening today is gonna shape and affect what's happening in 30 years.
Totally.
It's important. The perspectives are important. Because if we were all just one way, one gung ho, just one idea, one ism,
Yeah.
then I think we'd be in a more shit situation than the conflicting situations right now. Did I tell you I just did an interview with Al Jazeera Plus?
No way.
No, I didn't. Yeah,
That's
I gave them you guys' information on because they want to contact a bunch of people who are doing stuff. Yeah. So.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Boo. Did you get it?
I mean, just as far as like utilize, because I told them, I was like, technology has changed us for the better, but it's been the most dividing thing among us because everybody has opinions now. Everybody, every single one of us now has opinions, down to from the richest to the poorest. Every single person has an opinion, and everything is affected. Politics is not politics in the States, right? I mean, things are weirdly backwards here, you know, and we're creating our own sort of mentality of it, and we're so divided in the sense that we're really trying to figure out who we really are. Who are we? Are we Chamorros? Are we Gomanians? Are we Americans? Like,
But you see, I think.
Are we Filipinos? Are we Korean? Are we Chinese? Are we Japanese?
But see, yeah, totally. But see, that is like the most amazing thing is that technology has advanced so much where now the entire world just becomes a melting pot of everywhere else. You know? And so it's very, very difficult to now. It's never ethnicity is more like culture, but now culture's immersed in citizenship. It's like people don't just stay within their borders anymore.
Yeah.
They can move, and technology has allowed that. Whether it be the building of boats, to the discovery of airplanes, it's people are moving now, and we're more interconnected economically and socially with the rest of the entire world than we were before.
Yeah,
and
our voice here on Guam is louder than it's ever been in the history of this place.
And that's what I'm talking about, like globalization. Like 50 years ago, it was hard to get a plane and, just travel the world.
Let alone send a fucking letter to the States.
That dial-up. Again, back to the dial-up, or like the telephone system. It was like $1 per like minute to like the States. Call
collect
1-800-CALLCT, right? But I mean, that's what it's just now we're able to move freely amongst the rest of the world. Maybe not the whole world, but
the whole world.
No,
right.
the whole world, but that wasn't possible, 100 years ago. Like at the first, so it's like, how now do we exist with other people? It's not us against the world. It's now us with other people.
Yeah.
I always say that the best thing about being from Guam is that nobody has beef with you. Like, you can literally travel everywhere and no one's gonna give you like a dirty look or something very obvious.
When I went to Hong Kong, a bunch of people hated the French.
See, like we didn't do shit to anybody. Like people, I don't know, And so that's one thing I do like appreciate of being like ethnically ambiguous. Like we went to Bali and like I fit in. I looked like I was Balinese. Yeah. And me and my best friend Amber, we volunteered at an orphanage in Bali. And then when people would come to visit the orphanage, they would see her. And, she's Tremali, so she is a little lighter skinned, and they would just go straight up to me and just speak like I knew what they were saying. Like, oh, we're so and so, we're so and so. I'm just like, and I don't know, but let me show you know, like this is. They're like, oh, you're American. I was like,
get somebody.
Yeah, let me 1 second, you know, or like we go to Japan. No one has beef with we go to Japan. When I was in Africa, no one had beef with me. Like it was just kind of like, where are you from? I was like, I'm from Guam. They're like, where's Guam? Like, what are you? You know, like. So some of the kids who've actually never seen a person that looked like me, they were so confused.
Right.
Yeah, which was like, I think the biggest like mind fuck of my entire life.
Right.
And I think that was the moment where I realized the world is a very big but small place at the same time. You know, like so we were introduced, like my volunteer group was introduced to our community like early in the day. And it was me and these 2 other guys, one from Idaho and one from Australia. And when they brought us over into the school, they brought us into the baby class, the little kids, and the kids like freaked the fuck out. Like they just were like running for the doors, like crying. Like we were like, oh, cute. They're like, no. And then I was like, oh my God, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? You know, I'm like, what happened? What just happened? And then we're like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. We scared them. Like, we didn't mean to. Are they okay? The teacher just said, oh, no problem. They think they're ghosts. I was like, what? Like, she said it like so nonchalantly. Like, what do you mean? They think we're ghosts. She's
they're
like,
just so white there.
Yeah, they're like, they've never seen anybody like you guys before.
Wow.
And that was like the biggest, like, give me a moment to process that, you know? So it was like, all right, white boys, get to the side, but they'll play with me. Like, they're like, oh, she's fine. Like, her hair is black.
Almost
I
there.
know, almost there. They're like a little bit weird, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like, no one really has a beef. Like, we're exotic.
I think, but I think now that we're getting later into this decade and social media is becoming more a part of our lives and intertwined with our lives, a lot of people don't question what Guam is now.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh yeah, I've heard of that. I've heard of that.
Guam. I know what Guam is. Yeah.
I know somebody from there. I met somebody from there.
Yes, I get that. Yeah,
right?
You get that a lot. Like you go. Yeah, I'm like, yeah. What's his name? What village is he from?
I don't know him.
What high school did he go to? Oh, he must be related to so and so. Yeah, I think so. His grandma.
Yeah. It's and we, I guess we still like to believe that Guam is small, but really it's bigger than we really think, because I don't know everybody here.
Yeah, me neither. I mean,
so many people I don't know.
There's so many people. Sometimes, like, we'll go to a place, I'm like, where have all these people been hiding? Where do they come from?
Where are we at right now?
I know, like, I've never seen these people in my life.
Are we still in Guam? This is Dededo. Dededo?
No. You fell asleep in the car. Oh my God. Like,
oh God.
I just moved to Tamuning.
Yeah.
And we got a place in Tamuning, and honestly, like, now living like Central North is so weird to me.
Really?
Yeah, it's so freaking weird, because it's like, it literally takes you like 10 minutes to get to places.
Anywhere.
And I was like, this is bull crap. Like, I was like, what? I normally like allot myself 30 minutes for the drive up, you know? So then I was like getting up, and I was like going to work the first couple of days, and I was like, holy shit, I can make breakfast. I was like, I can go for a run. I have all this extra time. Like, what is this, right? And then it's like, oh, I don't go to like a mom and pop store like down south. It's like, I go to a Payless to go get my groceries. I'm like, oh, this is cool, you know?
It's
like,
not a 7-day.
Yeah. Oh, or it's like, you know what? I can't even like wear my bahaki to go to the Payless. Or like go to the grocery store. I'm like, oh man, I might see somebody now. Like,
gotta put on my makeup.
I gotta put on some clothes. Like, before it's like, Zori optional, you know, bahaki. I just walk in and out, you know.
Fuck it, dirty feet. I don't care.
Yeah, now it's like, well, tie your hair, put it under a hat, something. It's like, we're central now, guys. We're special.
We're sophisticated.
We're sophisticated. We're from the central now. But I do miss it. I don't really lie. Southward's that.
Oh, man. I've been the central cat all my life.
I miss the chickens. There's no chickens where I live.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because you're into money.
Yeah,
That's why.
I do miss chickens.
Yeah.
Anyway, but
Did it get quieter? What's going on here?
the guys are over us. They passed out.
Yeah,
We've been talking for so long. They went to sleep.
Did it get quieter? Did the headphones get quieter? What's
Sorry.
where are we at right now? Let's close this out.
32 minutes.
2 hours and 30 minutes. Jeez.
Jesus.
Nia,
Can I edit this?
you went from not knowing what you wanted to say to talking to me for 2.5 hours.
I'm drunk, so I'm just kidding. No, I'm not. But oh my god, I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. This is
I'm
what
so
it's all
sorry.
about. This is what we do.
I'm so sorry.
Don't be sorry.
So sorry.
This is what we do.
Thanks, guys. You know what?
podcast.
For who, like,
We had gummy bears, like 3 packages of gummy bears.
I ate an illegal hot Cheeto.
You almost crunched on the microphone. It's okay.
Sorry.
It happens to the best of us.
We drank some beer.
Yeah, we did. It's good. It's good. I'm not really a stout person or a dark beer person, but I gotta say, I'm impressed.
All right.
Yeah, got that milky taste.
I got the coffee flavor.
Yeah, coffee flavor, milky taste.
It'll get to you. I was actually more of a wine person than a beer person. And then I got into beer because it was cheaper than wine.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Yeah, I tried doing a whole. Let me see if I can fill up a whole jar of corks.
Yeah.
It got too expensive.
Really? You
Yeah.
can make a cork board out of that.
Yeah, I got a bunch.
Yeah, we'll make a cork board. We'll help you. I'll DIY it. Nice little Pinterest board.
What am I gonna do with a cork board though?
Put in your notes. Post it.
We'll see.
Stuff.
I'm gonna put it right up.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway,
Let's see.
Sorry. So thank you guys for
Thank you, Nia. I mean, thank you
having
for
me.
gracing us on the show with your presence. You
Still don't know.
You'll never know. But this is the conversation we have, right?
Thanks, boo.
Yeah, thank you. You are putting into why people listen to this show. They don't listen to it because of me. I'm the most annoying voice there is here.
No. I'm the most annoying.
No, I am.
I am. You're gonna lose this game. I know I have a high squeaky voice.
Oh gosh, I know I
was a Disney princess in a past life.
Anything you want to put out there, promote it. The floor is yours. Do it.
Just want to say all the opinions left here tonight gets left on the floor. I'm just kidding.
Don't be DMing me.
I know. Are completely the opinions of my own. None of my affiliated peeps. Just kidding.
Or organizations.
Yeah. Just love and respect. Just love each other. Be nice to each other.
For sure. Positivity.
Yeah. Take care of your mental health.
Right.
Yeah. And if follow hit up Mighty Island. You can follow me on Twitter. I think I'm pretty clever.
I will still continue to say every podcast, Twitter is fucking hard. It's so hard.
It's so easy. I'll teach you after.
Gosh, I don't get it. I try. I'm just
Yeah.
not. My mind's not interesting.
It totally is. I will
Thank you.
show
Thank
you.
you. Nia.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. I'll invite you onto my podcast.
Yes.
Just kidding.
When the fuck are you gonna start a podcast?
Hashtag never.
Yeah, you're one of the most visited guests on this show.
Dude, Guam has not run out of cool people to come back to me. I'm telling you. There's a lot more interesting people out there than me.
Yeah, but the thing is, I want to keep the relationship with people who I have had on the podcast, right? Because
Totally.
sometimes this is the only way that I can keep a relationship with people because we all have our own lives. We're all adulting.
We're getting old.
We're all getting old.
The hangovers are getting harder.
People are having families.
Yeah.
And having families and still having hangovers. it's getting hard, and I feel like for me, this is really the best way for me to still stay in touch with people and still conversate. I mean, look.
Totally.
We haven't talked since you were on with Mighty Island, and before that with yourself, and then before that with Matt and Ben. But now you're here, and we talked for 2.5 hours, and it was just like nothing.
Yeah.
We didn't struggle one bit.
That's what beer's for. Just kidding. Just kidding. No, I get you, boo.
Yeah.
No, exactly. No, and that's it's a beautiful thing. And like what you're doing here, you know, putting a platform for so many voices on Guam, I think it's really cool.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Well, I think only our generation would listen to what I have to say or anybody that I have on the show has to say. But that's important because we're the next leaders of this island, right? Whether it's politically, economically,
definitely,
mentally,
politically, economically, socially,
spiritually,
sexually,
sexual leaders.
Whoa. Rewind that one.
Edit.
Edit. Next time, if you get the live stream up, because there will be a next time, because I'm coming for you, Freddie.
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna out you, Fred.
I'm telling you.
Who else is out there? Fred.
I think just Fred. Fred right now is up top that I've had.
All right. Coming for ya. Is that
Brian doesn't know when he walks like that. It's more obvious than if he was to walk casual behind the screen. Like Dill was walking casual behind the screen or behind the scene, but Brian was like a penguin. He was penguining over like. They're not gonna notice me.
Is in the background.
They're not gonna notice me behind this bright light. Anyways, let's close this out. Nia, thank you. Thank you for bringing the beers. Thank you for gracing us with your presence and your knowledge.
Thank you for having me.
And your personality. That's, I think you're integral to the show. Start your own fucking podcast already. Jeez, come on, get one of your get one of your friends together that you like to talk to and talk about girl stuff.
That's why you're here. I want to talk to you about girl stuff.
I don't talk about girl stuff.
No, we can. What? Next podcast, we can talk about girl stuff.
Like what?
Well, I think all stuff are girl stuff. But, I mean.
That's a social construct.
That's what I taught you. Look at you, boo.
You taught me that last show.
Yes. Yas, queen.
All right. Let's get out of here.
See that? Okay. Sorry. Gotta go.
Thank you, everyone. Nia Serneo. Nia Serneo on the show, on the podcast. Once again, she's out for you, Freddie. So careful.
Comfort.
She's coming for you.
Thanks, boo.
Yeah, thank you for listening. Thank you for spending all this time with us for as long as we've been talking. It went by pretty quick.
And to the listeners, thank you. If you made it this far,
you don't win anything.
Message me. I'll buy you a coffee.
Oh. Her number is. Here, let me get her number.
Let me know. Buy you a coffee.
Yeah, DM her at Nia Serneo.
You get a gold star. Get a hug.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Peace out.
Bye. Oh, Lord. I'm sorry. That